All right, we're live. We're live. All right. Okay, got started a little later than I wanted to today, but we're gonna try to do a quick little challenge that we can hopefully get done within reasonable amount of time here, and try to see if we can get tier 3 housing. I'm just on the regular settings here, the standard settings. So I rolled a region here on the Winding River map. I just took the first one that we got, but I think it was a pretty good one. There's rich berries and rich hunting. So I'm just gonna set up some quick roads here and quick layout to kind of think about, and then yeah, we'll dive into it and see if we can make this happen here. Cool. So yeah, like I said, I feel like I got a little bit lucky here because there is a rich berries and a rich hunting. I just took the first region that rolled, so that was pretty nice. I do feel like the rich, like hunting veins now are a bit, they're not as like amazing because the pelts are not, they're kind of a low value trade item. But I do want to try something out here. I was talking to a couple people in the comments on some of the recent videos. We're talking about how they felt it was really good in combination with the one perk point that I mentioned in the economy video for increased trade export values on minor trade items, which would include the pelts. So we'll see how it goes. We'll give it a shot. But anyways, we're just going to see if we can just if we can set up for tier 3 housing here, and see if we can do a quick little challenge. Cool. So yeah, first thing we are going to, like I said, just set up a quick little road layout. Hello to anybody out there, by the way. I hope you guys are having a really good Sunday. I got started a little later than I wanted to today, but we're gonna see if we can knock out this quick challenge here. All right, so we do want we want pretty much just a direct access down here to our food area. Obviously, we're going to gather food here. Oh, Baff, he's here. What's up, dude? How many level three? None. We're just starting. We're just starting. We're gonna see if we can. We're gonna see how we can. We see if we can make it happen. I mean, in other games or whatever, other playthroughs got it set up, but I'm just gonna see if we can do a quick little challenge here and get this set up. We'll see how it goes. So obviously we want food production down here. We'll probably have our residential area not too far. I'm thinking we have good options for we're going to utilize trees a lot, so this area over here is probably going to be a really good tree harvesting area. So let's go ahead and do logging camp first. We'll just keep it close proximity for now. I think that'll do for now. We'll get a second hitching post. Okay, and then we'll get our storage buildings up. Just want to get our supplies all put away here. Get that second ox coming into the town. Start some logging. And like I said, storage, and then we'll get our ox ordered here. Cool. Storage gonna be next. So let's think about this. We probably want the granary closer to, down here. Residential and food gathering area. So, somewhere around not too far from here is going to be our best bet, probably overall. Logging camp, good. All right, let's go ahead and do... Let's do granary right here. Get one on our logging camp real quick. Let's do granary and storehouse. That's fine. We can just put the storehouse right over here, right behind it. Yeah, that'll be fine, I think, right? And we'll probably put our marketplace literally right next door to our granary right here. Cool, that'll work. Awesome. Yeah, how's everyone doing? I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. We just fired up a new playthrough here. Just wanted to try out a quick little challenge. Let's double staff the granary here to make sure they get this stuff stored away real quick. We got a little conference of rabbits going on over here, huh? What's going on? What's going on with these bunnies, dude? They're going crazy. Bunnies are they're going crazy town over there. It's just, it is what it is. It's part of our town now. We got a crazy patch of bunnies. Alright, we good on food. All the food is put away, right? Waiting, waiting, waiting. It's all done. Good. Take them off. And we're going to go ahead and get the storehouse stuff put away as well. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and do saw pit and firewood are probably going to be our next things here. Probably going to have a lot of housing all around here. Let's think about this for a second. Maybe because I know a lot of it will probably push out a little bit for where the wood cutting is going to be. We're just a little more localized currently on the start here, but this can always be moved around too. So I think we'll actually just put it here for now, and then we'll move it later. And woodcutter will be over here as well. We just don't want to cut down these trees that are near the berries and animals, obviously. Leave those undisturbed. And yeah, we're just going to put a temporary woodcutter over here too. We're going to end up moving some of this stuff around, but just as a comparison, would have put the storehouse between the granary and the rich stone deposit. Yeah, I feel ya. I'm planning on I have a vision for housing over here though, with orchards and stuff. I have a vision. We will see if we can bring it to fruition. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean, and once again, not that everything that I do and say is I don't know. I don't know every single detail about Manor Lords, I'm not an expert necessarily. So I'm always open to any dude, honestly, I felt like there was so much great feedback in the chat during the last live stream and in the comments on many of the videos lately. I feel like I've been learning a lot too. It's really good. Definitely like having the community around for that. It's really, really nice. Double line some of those roads there. Why not? Why not? Alright, cool. And we got that crap all out of the way. I'm gonna get... See, now, this is another one where I feel like this is a big change. I mentioned this in the last one, too. But normally I would be I'm a big advocate. I've, talked about it extensively in town setup guides that I've posted previously and stuff. I would wait, I would not build housing early on. I would not. I would wait to build housing until like a lot of other stuff is done. I don't know. The approval is so lenient. I mean, I feel like you can just kind of get away with either way now. I'm honestly not even really sure what's the most ideal. Because I feel like you can. A lot of people I think do want to build their houses like right away. You know what I mean? Um, Speaking of what that's what we're supposed to be doing right here while I'm just yapping. But yeah, a lot of people I feel do want to build their houses right away. Let's see if we can get a pretty good. Yeah, I'll take that. It's not the most completely ideal space, but I'll take that for a decent backyard area. I want regular houses right here where the stupid homeless tents are at. But we'll just put a couple regular ones here for now. We just need to make sure we get these up. But yeah, normally, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like on the regular settings, it probably is still a good idea to just wait for the housing. Needing a bit more supplies. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I feel like though it's like a lot of people want to build their houses right away. I feel like that's like totally feasible now. I don't think I feel like the approval is just so lenient. I don't think you're really gonna run into an issue either way. But normally, I would suggest like get basically everything done before you build any houses. Like build your church, build your, obviously previously you would say like get hunting and like a tannery, so you're starting to make leather and stuff. That's not applicable anymore. But so a bit of experimenting still going on here with what's completely the most ideal build order, and I think it definitely does depend on what settings you're on. So maybe a bit wonky here, not necessarily completely ideal yet. Let's see. What is your recommended build order for this patch? Yeah, I got you addicted. Good to hear from you, Zukais. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I was kind of just yapping about it a bit there, I guess. But long story short, I feel like at the end of the day, there's just a lot more leniency with. I think that you can get away with a non-ideal build order. You know what I mean? And it'll be pretty fine at this point. Because the approval is really not that, If anything, I feel like I've noticed like when I build houses before I have any infrastructure set, the approval starts to go up. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like beforehand, that's what I would recommend. Like, don't build your houses until you have all of that infrastructure set. You have food, you have the church, you have, all of that in the clothing, yada yada. Which the clothing is not applicable now for level 1, but. I have noticed now that like the homelessness is pretty much the tough thing, and then you just get the houses up, and I have noticed that they seem to rise in approval just like without even giving them anything really for a bit. So we'll see, but basically, I think that, like I said, I think most people want to build their houses more early on, and I think that's definitely feasible now. Whereas beforehand, I would strongly suggest not doing that. But I'm sure Baff has some good. I'm going to read your guys' comments here in a second. I'm sure Baff had anything that Baff is he's super knowledgeable. Baff probably knows more than I do about a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you. A lot of stuff that's around in the community that's been super knowledgeable, like I was mentioning earlier. So, it's not a rich one. Oh yeah, the stone. Yeah, it's just a regular stone. Unfortunately, they'll gather it pretty quick. So I got people here starting to gather berries and hunting while we're finishing up our housing setup. Does depend a tad on what level you're playing. Yeah, default and easy. More logs and a bit more time, right? Yeah. Oh, but that's, yeah, definitely, like Baff said, regardless of anything else, definitely make sure, like, when you start a town, put a hitching post and get a second ox imported to your town. That's like completely, I think that should be every single, there's no reason to not do that in any playthrough. But I do still highly recommend sticking by if you've seen the economy guide that I've posted. That's you know, not necessarily that it's the full like starting build order, but it is definitely, I think, kind of sticking to that starting strategy overall, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Kind of making sure you're going for the charcoal, then the we're gonna start moving the logging outward a little bit here now. You know, charcoal, those core trade items. You know what I mean, that we talked about in that video. Once again, not that that's necessarily a starting build order completely, but starting strategy should kind of revolve around that, in my opinion. Trade is just so powerful right now. We need one more house to get the rest of our people in here, but we can... I'd like to get this one right here so we have an extra house ready too. Hey, what's up, Power Push? Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Happy Sunday, guys. How Nato? What's up, guys? Build houses right away. Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, I think that that's a good, you know, like I said, if you have happened to watch like my guide, it's still here on the channel. It's definitely one of the main ones that I'm gonna have to revamp since there's been significant amount of you know, changes. But you know, definitely I would say the starting build order has a lot more. See, look, kind of to the point of what I was talking about here. You could see we were like going negative from like, look, we were at what, 30% or whatever. We just built a couple houses. We have literally nothing in the market. Like we don't even look. We have literally nothing being supplied to these houses right now. Not a single thing is checked, and the approval is going up. I mean, not like up to like 100%, you know what I mean? But it's like, it was at 30%, you know what I mean? So I think the way that they adjusted the homelessness, you know, debuff or whatever you want to call it, negative approval rating, comparatively with, you know, the other factors, it's just kind of, it's a lot more lenient now, so. And once again, what we're doing here isn't necessarily max ideal, max efficiency. You know, obviously going to be a little distracted, like answering questions and, you know, all that kind of stuff, but well, we need one more log. We need one more log. That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, yeah. Where the patch notes, right. Right, and that's another good point too. Like you mentioned, there's Zacchaeus. Yeah, like you said, in the patch notes, they did mention that there is now a. So anytime you start a new town, there's like a 30-day buffer period, like a grace period, essentially, where you're not going to get any approval factors. Like they don't, you know, their homelessness or whatever doesn't affect them. Nothing affects them for a full month when you start any new playthrough. So that's another really good point. Sorry, I'm being really dumb here. I don't even have someone on the logging camp as I'm waiting for these logs. Just trying to answer the questions. Yeah, that's another good question, Power Push. Is it better to build dual burgage plots? So, yeah, that's a good question. Basically, no. At this point, no. Only for certain circumstances. So, like for this one, I built the double because I'm planning on putting a large backyard extension here. For, you know, like an orchard or veggie garden or whatever. But typically, I think at this point you're going to want to stick to single housing. A couple main reasons. First of all, so you know, when you level up your houses from level 1 to either 2 or 3 or whatever, you know, eventually I don't know if there are going to be more tiers than that, but when you level up your houses, then they start to generate passive tax wealth. And it used to be per family, not per house. So if you had a double lot, you would get the tax revenue for the 2 families living in there. Now it's per house, not per family. So a double plot, even if you had a level 3 double plot with 4 families living there, you're still making the same amount of tax revenue as if it was a single level, whatever, double plot with only 1 family living there. You know what I mean? So that it's more efficient in that way. And then also, inversely, it was like you would get the tax revenue per family, but then the consumption was less if they were in a double house. Now it's like the consumption is per family and the taxing is per house. So essentially, there's really no incentive to build double lots unless it's in my, at least from what I understand so far, unless it's like specifically for, in this case, like a large vegetable backyard garden, where you need the families that live on that plot specifically to have the labor for it. Otherwise, I think, yeah. Or if you're, you could always take into consideration too, just like literally just like space requirements. If you happen to be like in a region that's more condensed, or you don't the right now I picked one that's kind of like a flat open terrain. Not all the maps are like that, of course. So maybe you are limited on space for where you want to put your residential area, and you want to fit more families in that area. That's obviously totally understandable too. So, but technically, I think at this point it's just maximum efficiency wise, it's going to be single plot housing. A similar level. Not be here to watch otherwise. Yeah. Well, probably not right now because I'm pretty distracted and I've already made a bunch of mistakes. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. Usually forget the church and end up building it last. Yeah. I know, and especially at this point, due to how lenient the approval is, it's almost like, gosh, you don't even need to really worry about building the church too early on. You know what I mean? Once again, if we were on like the challenging settings here, it would be a bit different. Yeah, mental checklist, right? right. Yeah, for sure. We got to abide by the peasant's needs, right? So once again here we can see, so once again, I still have supplied nothing, right? We are supplying absolutely nothing. At this point, I guess we're supplying water. We literally just built a water well. But yeah, see, the approval's fine, right? Like we're not having any approval issues. And matter of fact, if we keep an eye on it, I'm pretty sure this approval is going to keep going up. Like we're going to start getting families moving in. Look, the approval's still going up. We're above 50% now. And we are supplying literally nothing other than, I guess, water now. Which doesn't even count as an approval benefit, I guess. Well, I guess maybe it does. Does that count as amenities now? Maybe it does. So I don't know. Maybe water counts as amenities now, I guess. I don't know. But my point is, you guys can see how easy it is to, you know what I mean? Like, we're not even giving them food or firewood or nothing. And they're like, yeah, I'm happy. Cool. So anyways, what I want to do here is what I want to test out here with this, since we have the rich hunting and I've seen some people comment about it. Well, I want to try out this one of the Vogt land, or however you say it. It has this hunting hound, which apparently is pretty good. But the main thing I'm interested in is right here, increased export price on minor trades. So I was hearing some people saying that they felt it was really good when they started with like a rich hunting deposit, and you sell the pelts, which are a minor trade item, and you get increased trade value from them. So kind of want to see how this goes since we have the rich hunting deposit, and then we'll see what we can do trade wise, keeping that into account. Purchase hunting hound. Oh, okay, so you have to, I have not done this one yet, so you have to, it does cost 12 regional wealth. Okay, so I'm going to hold off on that because I want the 30 to make sure we get our charcoal thing going. But yeah, see, guys, we just got a new family moving in, right? Yeah, new family started moving in. So look, we, once again, we are supplying literally nothing at all, I guess, other than water. And we are already gaining approval and gaining population. So yeah, I think if it's on these settings, it's the name of the game is to get the houses up quick and, worry about church and stuff later. Whereas before, if we were at this point, I feel like we'd be suffering because we don't have the church up or anything. But now it doesn't really seem to be an issue. So we're just going to go ahead and keep building a couple more houses, increasing our staff, thinking ahead about trade and charcoal and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to get to your guys' comments here in just a sec too. So we got a couple houses. We're gonna get charcoal. So like I said, I want to be like harvesting wood over here, and then if we put a trading post, let me take a look real quick again here. Okay, so the trade points are over here. So yeah, I mean, if we put a trading post right here, they just go down this path and then straight, you know, this connects down to the trade point or whatever. So that's not bad, not a bad spot. And we're kind of setting up for like tree harvesting to be over here, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking we'll probably set up, you know, because I'll probably put another storehouse. We'll put a second storehouse and set up like a localized trade, charcoal, whatever, production area over here, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and do that. And check out what you guys are saying here. See, and I mean, like literally, like at this point, we would, you know, it makes it way more lenient with your staffing too, because you have to assign. Once you assign people to the storehouse and the granary for the market stalls, then they pretty much need to stay there. You know what I mean, to keep the stalls stocked or whatever. So, you know, it's like we don't even have those two. Those two families are still available. We're not even staffing that. We're not. You know, it's crazy how little you have to invest in the beginning to start getting population growth. Let me read what you guys are saying here. 6 will be, oh, okay, you put about 6 or so out of your first 20 houses as large doubles, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, so those are your kind of designated veggie and fruit. Yeah, perfect, yeah, absolutely. What's up with Okie Doke? Clothing still bugged? Yes. Well, no, but yes, it is for us, but it's not, they fixed it, but we don't have access to those fixes yet. One thing you have to bear in mind regarding small or large, if you have 2 base foods, will be out of season in winter. So you need to get some backyards producing food, chickens, goats, and pigs. Yes, 100%. Yes. So, a matter of fact, I've been doing some strategizing. One of the challenge runs that I want to do, that I've been planning for, I'm just not sure if I want to wait until, you know, I feel like there's just some hot fixes that kind of need to come out, you know what I mean? But I want to do a challenge run where basically use no resource deposits, or, you know what I mean? Basically get all the food, you know, from backyard extensions, and no harvesting, no resource deposits. I think that would be a pretty cool challenge and really show the potential of, you know what I mean? Just the backyard food production. Cool, we got these couple houses coming in. Charcoal's underway. We're going to get trading posts after that. I think it's better to rush housing since you get 2 families for the first year. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's seeming like now. Just overall, rushing the housing is just really good. And, you know, unless you're on the more challenging settings, then maybe, you know, there's not going to, you know, you'll need to take into account there's not going to be as much leeway necessarily, but yeah, generally I think just doing the housing right off the bat's good now. The blue Baskerville hound, it's a beast. Dude, I haven't tried it yet. I'm excited to try out this hunting hound. I've heard good things about it. Between Tacticat's plot design and Koval's trade strategy, it's become pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah, you just make a couple flexos and get your economy going, and you're just coasting, right? Honestly, dude. All right, we got 2 more houses now, so we're ready for a couple more families. We're getting charcoal set up over here. Like I said, we're also going to put a separate storehouse, but we'll go ahead and do trading post. Trading post. And then, yeah, we're going to do... So we're going to have a localized, you know, charcoal area, trade area over here. Shit, maybe I kind of wanted the charcoal to not be... probably want the storehouse right here on this corner now that I'm looking at it. But it's okay. I think technically most efficient would be storehouse right here. And then, yeah, but, you know. You guys see what's going on. You guys are smart. You get it. Um, hey, what's the Discord? Oh, I can post a link to that if you're interested. I think there's a link on my YouTube, like home in the whatever on the homepage too. But why you put double roads? Those help with. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it as a double. I don't know if they can help congestion. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to say that, you know, if you build double roads, then you're not going to experience any congestion issues anymore by any means. But it can, you know, it can alleviate some of that. I'm not going to lie. I also just kind of like how it looks aesthetically. I've always done, like, not even necessarily the double roads, but I like doing the roads where you kind of like make them a little bit thicker. You know what I mean? To me, it just kind of looks more like a, you know, that just looks more like a main road in the town. You know what I mean? Rather than this tiny little thing. You know. So I don't know, kind of aesthetics and potentially better logistics, but I don't really know how effective realistically that is. But yeah. All right, so we're gonna get charcoal under production. As you guys should know by now, charcoal is the GOAT for economy. If you're not selling charcoal, I don't know what you're doing. Do you know when they will add the patch to the main branch, Rabin? No, we don't know. Or at least I don't know. I know some other creators out there, like I think Tacticat, he has access to like talking to the developers or whatever. I'm a nobody, so I only know what you guys know. But in my personal speculation, once again, this is just I'm a Joe Schmo just like anyone else, right? In the Manor Lords world, I don't really know, but my speculation is that it's going to be coming out this week. I would be willing to bet that it comes out this week. And the reason is because Farthest Frontier is releasing on Thursday, and you know, I'm pretty sure that they want to like compete with that. So that being said, if they're not ready to release it, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they just still release it regardless, which wouldn't be the best, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully what they release is actually complete though, right? I mean, that's kind of the main thing. All right, we're going to continue setting up our, you know, wood production area over here for charcoal and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to move the wood cutter over. We got the charcoal thing. We're going to put a forester's hut. We've got our separated storehouse, trading post. We still have one available work spot. We're going to get, as soon as we have some charcoal ready to go. Now we're going to set up here, let's set up our advanced settings. So this storehouse, we only, right now at least, we only want to accept the firewood and the charcoal. That's it. We don't want to accept anything else. And at the central storehouse, we want to, well, they can accept firewood because as soon as we put someone here, they're going to need to stock the you know, fuel to the market. But we'll try to keep the charcoal all over here so that it's right next door to the trading post. And once again, look, we don't even have. I mean, it's insane. Actually, kind of insane. This kind of feels, in my opinion, broken. Like, I don't think that we should be getting away with like, how in the world are our peasants not unhappy right now? Like they have nothing. You know what I mean? What the heck? But you know, we'll take it. So we'll get back on this. Charcoal's coming in. You know, I guess we we might as well start. You know, these guys are probably, you know, these guys are they can't even work anymore anyways. We're just gonna move them over here, put on the stall, and you know, these guys their storage has been full the whole time. You know, once again, we're not completely like maximum efficiency here, but that's the other thing too, is if you have gathering buildings going on. Once I'm over here nerding out about how crazy it is that we haven't staffed up the storage buildings, and you know, because I'm kind of looking at the approval rating, but meanwhile we have you know, our production buildings are full and not actually working because we don't have the storage staffed. So anyways, The word is within weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be this week, literally, because of the farthest frontier. You wanted to follow the tutorial for updating Manor and installing new maps, but you couldn't find it on Discord. Wait, what? The tutorial. Oh, the castle planner guide. Yeah, they're all just right here on my YouTube channel. But if you are looking in the Discord, so in the Discord there is a channel for, I think it's called VODs Gaming, and I post any videos that I link in that channel or whatever. So you could scroll, if you just like scroll up in that channel, you'll probably find it. But otherwise, yeah, it's just here on my YouTube channel. You haven't been able to build Tacticat's plots in beta. Oh yeah, I heard that there was some weird, like the plot points were kind of wonky, right? We're gonna start selling. Trade. Export, purchase, trade route. I don't care about any supply of charcoal right now. Just sell. We have one more the house available. I want to think about another large plot over here. Let's think about that. I personally, if you guys like to do the flexo setups and stuff, that's totally fine. Those are really good. That's a really good advice, from Tacticat, obviously. I kind of like to not do the flexos personally. Just a personal preference, has nothing to do with how good they are or anything. But if I draw them out like this, sometimes they can take a little more space, But that's just, I don't know, like for example, I don't know, and once again, I mean, these are not even ideal. Like I also kind of like to work with the land and whatever, but I'm just gonna take this spot right here. Yeah, and then we're going to be selling pelts too. I keep forgetting, right? That was another reason of this build. So yeah, export, sell all pelts. So yeah, so the base price of pelts exports is 2 regional wealth, but since we took that that perk, they now sell for 3 regional wealth. So it's kind of a bit dumb there in the beginning, as we're not fully paying attention. But if we had the hunting was like fully rolling this whole time, we'd probably have a decent amount of pelts to sell already. And at the slightly increased rate, it's really not that bad. It's a pretty decent amount of starting income. Let me go through some of your comments here. Yeah, power push. What's the most efficient wood? Like how many foresters and families? Oh, what's the most efficient for wood? Yeah, I mean, it once kind of depends on like, how far you're scaling it up, I guess. But I like to have at least, like, for every logging camp, I like to have at least like 1 forester's hut. Even right here, we could maybe even do with 2 forester's huts potentially. And getting this staff sooner than later would be great as well. But it kind of depends, I guess, obviously, how much you end up ramping up your your production for either timber and or firewood. But yeah, I would say at least one forester's hut per logging camp and or woodcutter's lodge. Probably just like a 1-to-1 ratio is pretty good, to be honest. The firewood cutters don't really chew through the trees nearly as fast, obviously, as the logging camps. But I'd say at least 1 forester's hut per logging camp. You're probably pretty good, but depends. Obviously, you could, I don't typically staff up the logging camps too heavily. Kind of depends, like, on the setup and the logistics and all that kind of stuff, of course, as well. So Yeah, forgot about Farthest Frontier. I know, right? It's crazy. It's coming out this week. It's been forever. That game has been in early access forever. It's funny because people, a lot of people are like, down on Manor Lords about that. But oh my gosh, like Farthest Frontier has been years in early access, definitely. I mean, they've been on, but not just. See, the thing with Manor Lords though is I feel like they've never once like promised us like, oh, we're going to be releasing the game like next year. Like Farthest Frontier has said several times, like they have made several commitments to release the game. Like, I mean, this game was supposed to come out like literally like a whole year ago. Farthest Frontier, you know what I mean? So they're like super behind. But that being said, we'll see. It's still a really cool game. I have put in, I think, about 400 or 500 hours on Farthest Frontier. I'll probably play some of that too here on the channel. Definitely some live streams. I don't know how many like video. I'm not like as knowledgeable as far at Farthest Frontier as I am in Manor Lords, mostly because like those like 400 to 500 hours that I put in on Farthest Frontier was like I said, the game's been out for I remember them saying like a year and a half ago, like, yeah, we're going to have this released like by the end of this year. And so like I played it a lot, and then it never came out. So it's been a while since I've really played it, you know what I mean? And they've like updated quite a bit or whatever since then. So yeah, I need to spend a bit more time in it. But as far as like if I'm going to be able to make guides and stuff, but definitely at least like play it some on live stream and, check it out. And, I'm sure a lot of it will come back pretty easy. I did like a quick, I think I played, I don't know, maybe like 10 hours or so like last week or something on a new town, and it's not too different. So you came out with a new design for beta. I released yesterday. Nice. Oh yeah, Tacticat. Yeah, cool. Just wanted to follow your tutorial for updating the manor. Oh yeah, yeah, I got you. If you make sure the fruit's same size as veggies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I assume what you're talking about, Sammy, is the Castle Planner guide, because in the Castle Planner guide I also show like some of the spots on the new maps. I think, right? I assume that's what you're talking about. All of those videos are just here on my YouTube channel. But like I said, if you're looking in the Discord, you can scroll through that the VODs gaming channel, and it'll have. I just always post a link to whatever videos in there. Let's keep the housing coming. Just gonna build a bunch of houses right there. Okay, so I should probably focus up a little bit here. All right, let's get this forester set staffed. We want them to start replanting. Let's set these work areas. Okay, good. So we have already been making some trades. We're going to order a horse, and we're going to put a hitching post right next to the trading post for the horse. Okay, and we're also selling pelts, right? Good. We are selling the pelts. That's perfect. We staffed up our hunting and forager hut again. We can also order our hunting hound. Oh, okay. So the hunting hound is on the same cooldown as if you order other livestock like an ox or horse. I did not know that. So anyways, once this comes, we just ordered the horse, but once the horse comes and this is off cooldown, then we'll order the hunting hound. But we got a trade area set up over here. It's good. Approvals, once again, we're not even, I feel like literally I'm just not even, I feel like it's something that I don't even need to think about. It's crazy. So yeah, whatever, on approval, great. And then, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude, like, if I don't have to build a church, like, I'm just not gonna build one, because they constantly go out of their way to go pray, and it takes productivity out of their jobs. So you know what? You guys aren't getting a church. If you're not gonna demand a church, then I'm not giving you a church. I'm just saying. Right? Alright, family's coming in, and then soon I want to get, honestly, my plan is, orchards here. I want orchards. I'm not really going to... So I want to do this without veggies. That's what I wanted to try. So we need, so that is in the same category, veggies, grains, and foraged goods. Yeah, so foraged goods is going to be covered by berries, and we can also bake bread really easily. As I've showed in the trade video, we can just import some grain and bake a ton of bread if we need it. So I'm not worried about the vegetable category. The next one is meats and fishes. So we're going to put in a bunch of pig pen backyards because we have a strong woodland environment. We have a 67% bonus on this pig pen bonus thing here, the affinity bonus. So we're going to utilize that, and that's going to cover our meats and fishes category. And then the last one is animal produce and fruits, and then we're going to have 2 big orchards here for fruits. And that's the food categories that we're going to need for tier 3. Very good. All right, so more houses are coming in. Economy is still going, and then we're going to add orchard backyards. We're going to order the hunting hound. That's kind of our next things. We also probably want to... Yeah, we probably want to start getting planks coming in, right? And then make sure we get this stone harvested. Let's just build a stone gatherer camp. Oh, we need planks first, yeah. So we got to get some planks going. We'll do that here in just a sec. Get that house done. I'm going to assign one of these guys to the saw pits. Alright, cool. And let's set a reserve here. Timber. Like 12. That's fine. Cool. Let's see. What do you guys got? Do you think they will add cavalry at some point? Yes, actually, yes. I have heard them in the past in the Discord. Greg has said that, you know, cavalry will be in the game, or at least it's part of their plan to add to the game. Yeah, it's just when, who knows? Probably a long ways out, but as far as I know, yes, cavalry is planned for Manor Lords. Yes. Yeah, shout out Baff, dude. Honestly, like I said, Baff is super knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable. Thanks for helping me keep up with some of these questions, too. Yeah, since they're in some of the artwork in the game. Yeah, see, so, yeah, like Baff said, yeah, so they've definitely kind of alluded to it so far. It's just, you know, when will that happen? Who knows, realistically, but it's probably, you know, a while, but... Are we almost ready for the hound? Almost 6 more days. Yeah, playing today, and you ordered the blue beast, and then you went. Oh, yeah, okay. We're gonna. I'm honestly, I can't wait to see this hunting hound, dude. I've not used it yet, so. You think you can exploit hunting hound? Just spamming hunter's camp. That is a good question. That is a good question because it supposedly just passively gives you provides +1 small game every 7 days, right? Like a passive. So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if if animals need to be present for them to be able to continue to gain that. We're gonna order it right now. Here we go. Hype up. Or, yeah, I don't know. Not sure about, yeah. That's a good question. It could be worth something trying out. I could definitely see that being, you know, a potential. I would like to get another ox too, but we just ordered that. We're gonna have to wait the cooldown, but I'm just gonna put another like hitching post over here. Get ready for another ox. Okay, so like I said, our next goals are gonna be. We do need to start getting livestock into the town as well for our clothing demands, thinking ahead about that. So that's probably going to be the next thing we start investing in livestock. Just put that wherever. Doesn't really matter. Cool. So livestock's going to be next. Okay, I think we're fine for now on planks. Want to get a couple other things built up here. We're going to also get the stone gatherer. We want to make sure this stone gets all yoinked up. And what else? What else do we have here? Oh, there's like a regular clay that's like kind of far, and a regular salt. I'm not even going to worry about that. But I guess long term we'll think about getting some clay from here to turn into the roof tiles that we'll need for the upgraded buildings and stuff. And then of course we do need to get, I know I was joking about it, but we do need to build a church and stuff if we're going to upgrade the houses. So we'll get the rest of this infrastructure all kind of set up here. But I mean you guys, are you guys feeling the same way I am? It's like, it's crazy how easy it is to get that approval, right? Like, holy. Let's make sure, I assume we're not in any elevation here. Looks like there's high elevation over here. I mean, we're not at risk there, right? If we order sheep, hopefully. They're not at risk of dying. What's up, Spearhead? How we doing, dude? Welcome in. Happy Sunday. Yeah, would spam trade posts at the edge of the map. Yeah, right. I know that was a crazy cheese. So because of the trade point, you would just spam trading posts right here, so they would just go back and forth to the trade point like a billion times over again, right? Yeah, that was a crazy one. Okay, let's think about some assignments here real quick. We've got a couple workers ready to go. Okay, so stone. Let's get stone. I'm just gonna double assign that real quick because we can easily knock out gathering this stone right here. That'll get done real quick. Okay. But yeah, trade, like we really need trade. So livestock and trade, like trade is our main goal right now. So we could also consider upgrading a couple houses and start producing the small shields as well to sell. As we know, that's highly profitable. That being said, we do need our church, so we're gonna stop messing around with that for a sec. So let's get the church up. Once again, you want to put this in a place that's somewhat central because they do constantly go to pray and, you know, they'll go grab water, grab firewood, pray, all that kind of stuff you want in you know, close proximity as possible. This looks pretty good over here, right? I mean, as good as any, I would imagine. Maybe on this side is just slightly better. Okay, so we'll get that set up, and then we can we'll be ready to upgrade. We'll probably upgrade a couple of houses. Start selling some shields too, but we want to get our we need to get livestock starting to come in. We want to get orchards planted, you know, start get that process rolling, the trees maturing, the sheep reproducing, you know what I mean? Obviously all that stuff is going to cost us though, so we're going to be prepared. And we also want to be putting like I mentioned, a bunch of pig pens as well. So we got a bunch of things that we're going to need to spend money on. So trade is our main goal currently, and always, pretty much. You had 2 hunters with dogs and a rich resource, with the same, okay, with that of the Vogt land or whatever, was loaded with meats and pelts. Yeah, that's what's up, dude. I mean, it feels like it's really not that bad. Let's take a look at our food, actually. Yeah, we got a decent amount of small game sitting around. Let's take a look at our trade records, just for kicks here. All time. You know, so I mean, once again, it's not like we're going to be making buku bucks off of selling the pelts, even with the slightly increased trade value. But I mean, that's really not that bad. I mean, that's like pretty much like a quarter of the amount that we've made from the charcoal, right? So I mean, that's not bad. That's a nice little boost, right? For early on, so we'll take it. I could definitely see this being a pretty good starting, you know, like having a hunting and doing this with the Vogt plan thing could be a pretty good starting build, especially for like more beginners, I feel, you know what I mean? Because you get that kind of little extra boost to your economy early on pretty easily. Let's get that third ox now that we're ready with that. Where's our hound, dude? I want to find that thing. We're going to take a look at that hound here in just a sec. We're out of free housing area too. We got to think about that. We're just going to make sure we're continuously growing the town. Let's see. Church is almost done. Only meals are, let's see. How long would it take the animal trader? One bug they need to fix if you say order a horse, and you have to wait for ordering. Right. Oh, really? So the livestock backyard ends up going on the same cooldown as the like ordering livestock, like other livestock. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at some costs here real quick. Pears 144, 96 apples. Pretty much same thing here, same exact prices. Okay. I know the quinces kind of suck. I know the pears and the apples are still good. Maybe we'll just do one apple, one pear, just kind of why not? One apple, one pear. Cool, we got that going. And we're going to put one person on livestock here. Start importing sheep. Import. And we're going to build a couple pasture areas. Probably right like here behind this trade area where we have for the wood and stuff production is going to be not a bad idea for us to put wool and yarn or whatever the heck over here, the sheep stuff. And I learned yesterday, someone was showing me in stream, you can make these, this is kind of ridiculous, but you can make these pastures where you just do like one tick like that. And they like hold like an insane amount of sheep in like these tiny little strips. It's kind of silly, but we'll go with it. All right, starting getting set up for that. What else do we need? We'll check your guys' comments here in just a hot second. Storehouse. Okay, so we're ready to start upgrading a couple of these plots too. I think we're going to go ahead and do that and start selling the small shields as well. That being said, we need to ramp up on our like timber and planks and stuff, you know. So let's do that. We did get that third ox into town. That should help out a little bit. Maybe we can double staff here too. Just really gotta ramp that up. Whoops. There we go. We'll go double for now. Socket's gonna be rocking. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead. Let's upgrade these ones that are closest to like the storehouse and the trade or whatever, and they're gonna make the shields. Yeah, I've never tried ordering like at the I've never tried ordering like oxens and mule. I've never tried ordering anything else at this livestock trading post other than sheep, so I'm not really sure about that. I've only ever ordered like, you know, ox and horses and stuff from the hitching post or from the trading post tab, I guess. But yeah, not really sure how that. I have seen some people saying that it doesn't really work very well if you order ox and horse and stuff from the livestock trading post. Mules will be used in place of an ox if they're available. Ooh, I wish. Yeah, mules are only inner settlements. I think this you guys probably already kind of covered it here. I do have a, if you haven't, this is another one that was like really highly requested, like a lot of questions about this that I made a guide for somewhat recently. I'll post it in the chat here. Trade and bartering. If you guys haven't seen that one, because the interregional trade and bartering system's kind of like wonky and confusing. I do have a guide here on the channel that I made in the pretty recent past from a bunch of requests on the channel. People kept asking about it, so if you guys are interested, you can definitely check that out too. Let's see. Gotta catch up on some of these comments here. I wish there was a spreadsheet we could say. Yeah, right. There probably is somewhere. I mean, maybe someone on Reddit or Discord, on the Discord or something. There's some people that are like highly active in the Discord and stuff. Yeah, you've only used the pack stations a couple times. Yeah, they're kind of, you know, they're a little bit hit and miss. They're not the most consistent. Let's adjust some of our seasonal tasks here. So no more Forester's Huts. Timber and planks is rocking, but we definitely need that to ramp up big time because we're going to start producing these shields. We're good there. I guess let's just pause on the hunting for now and let that regenerate, right? Honestly, I don't really know what if we have the hunting hound. Do we just keep it staff regardless? I'm not really sure. If you guys have any input on that, let me know. We do have our fruits coming in. Let's see what else. What else? What else? We are starting to get livestock coming in slowly. Let's get this storehouse step. We never staffed this one over here for our separated trade area, and we're also going to adjust to accept the wool and yarn, and also small shields. And we're going to go ahead and go to our central storehouse and turn off those items. Yeah, for now we might turn these back on if we start producing clothing. Once we do clothing in a bit, we'll turn that off for now and shield. So we want to make sure that that stuff gets dropped off at the storehouse that's right next to the trading post. And then we need to upgrade our storage bill. We still have a lot of stuff left to do, of course, but. I'm gonna go through more of these comments here. Let's see what else. We're still behind on these planks, though. We really need this to pick up. Okay. One minor correction. Yes, oxen are not just removing logs. Oh, true. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. Absolutely. Great point. Yeah, especially now that that it's available to everyone. That you can use the ox plowing on the farms at the farmhouse without the development point. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Yeah, I think I did say that in the other live stream the other day. Someone asked. That is true. Definitely. Yeah. So oxen can also be used for field plowing. 100%. Correct. Yes. And as far as I understand, I think now you just build a farmhouse, and then the option's just there standard, right? You just click it, and then add the oxen, and then boom. What's up, CMDR? You're struggling with getting level 3 buildings due to lack of clothing. Yeah, no worries, dude. Yeah, recurring question. It's all good. Yeah, the clothing is bugged right now on the beta, so highly recommend. I should have this pinned in here too. I'm gonna pin this one. Yeah, highly recommend if you so beta fixes clothing info more. Yes, so if you are wondering about the clothing situation or anything other, like any other, of the kind of more common bugs that have been on the beta so far, the video that I pinned there kind of reviews a lot of that information, and they have announced that they have fixed some of these things, including the clothing issue internally. We just don't have the access to those fixes yet. I'm assuming they're just going to include them in the actual patch once we get that soon. Cool. So we're almost done with the stone. What's up, Raphael? Yeah, this is the beta version. Get a crap load of sheep. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you watch the video that I pinned there, you'll be set. You'll be golden. You find the shoes way harder in endgame. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. No worries, Mr. Tub. Yeah, so I think the shoes are going to be a little bit harder. Yeah, because the hides are a little bit harder to come by. That being said, I still, once again, in the video that I have pinned here, if you really maximize the use of your sheep, you'll be able to cover the yarn version of clothing and the shoes version of clothing. Maybe not at the current bugged rates, but definitely once it gets fixed, if you have a decent setup of sheep, you should be able to cover all that stuff, no problem. Hey, what's up, Dorkbot? What's going on, dude? Your oxen are cursed. Mid-September, they're already plowing the field instead of finishing the grain bundle collection. Oh, I see. So you're not able. They're doing it before you get the harvest done or something. Yeah, and like Math said too, you need to Luckily, the shoes are they're not required for the level 2 housing. Luckily, they're only required for level 3. That being said, of course, yeah, it is still, once you get to that point, especially currently, it is tough to, I think the shoes are going to be harder to keep up with in general, just because hides are going to be a little harder to come by than yarn. But once again, utilizing the sheep to the max potential is going to be huge, absolutely huge. You'll be able to cover basically all of those requirements just through the sheep. Once again, probably not in the current state, but yeah. And then like that, so you could do goats too. Goats are also, you do get hides from the goats too, but the goats are kind of a lower, it's a lower production rate. And then the real problem is that the goats are not affected by any of these affinity bonuses like the pigs are. So like in this case, I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I definitely want to put, I want to do pigs and not goats, right? That being said, of course, if you need the hides, you need the hides. So also, that being said, we should start thinking about adding these animal pens here and starting to get the pigs going. And we also did upgrade a couple houses in preparation of starting to sell the large shields. Look like we're starting to do a little bit better on our planks. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade. Let's do 2 of these. Joiner shops. There we go. Excellent. And as a matter of fact, we do have planks turned up here. Perfect. So we want to make sure that the planks get transported over here for our joiner shop. I mean, so Baff, what do you think, right? So if we have our logging camp over here, and we have joiner shops over here, should saw pit be over here near the logging camp, or should saw pit be over here near the joiner shops and storage? I'm assuming near the joiner shops and storage, right? It's kind of random. They just leave one to spite me. Your villager, they're probably, unless, are you, here's the real question. Are you providing your villagers with ale? If not, they're definitely spiting you. They're revolting. They need ale. Also a perk that has the clothing. That is true too. Yeah, that is also a really good point. If you are struggling with the clothing, especially in the current state, you could opt for that that development perk. Very good point. Joiner shop, let's just make sure we don't want them doing large shields. We want small shields because they only take 1 plank to create instead of 2. Make sure that they're set on small shields. Time to pick everything. Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Mr. Tubb. Have a good one, dude. Have a good Sunday. Planks are one of the slowest things to move, so my saw pit is usually close to the joiners. But yeah, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna move it over here. We're gonna move that. Okay, we got our second joiner shop. Small shields confirmed, right? Both of them. Good. Okay. Excellent. So we're starting to get that going now too. We'll have our more trade income on the way. And let's get these filled with pigs now because we have that panage bonus. So we have some pigs coming in. We're going to add more. We're going to add more. But we do need to think about small shield trade route.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad
Make sure we're ready with that cost.
From time to time.
I want to have them build up a few more before we start setting that to export. They should be done. Yes, they are done with collecting the stone, right? That is all gone. So we are done here. Unassign. Demolish. Excellent. Okay. Not too shabby. Charcoal's looking great. What's going on with... okay, they're still importing livestock. Good. We just need more livestock. We're about to get back into spring pretty soon, and then we can start gathering and hunting again or whatever. Yeah, at this point we're really just kind of... Now we have a lot of our main infrastructure set up, so let's think ahead about... We have our sheep operation going on over here. Let's also get the weaver's workshop. And... Should be fine. Storehouse is right there. Trading post right there. It's all still really close. It's good. I mean, this livestock, I mean, we probably like, more ideally, we'd put the weaver shop here instead of the livestock trading post, so it's even more closer and yada yada, but, not the end of the world. Okay. Staff up 1 on that sheep farm. Now we have a bit of sheep here. We can start getting wool. Good. Crank out those shields. Oh, yes. Let's upgrade this storehouse. Should have done that a while ago. Let's make sure our storage buildings are upgraded so that they have the increased amount of hand carts and storage space. Let's get that done. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay, and economy's still doing not bad at all. I'm gonna upgrade these with livestock as well for more pigs. Got a couple construction tasks finishing up here. Then we'll adjust some assignments, especially as we're coming into spring again. One thing we'll want to think ahead about too is we will need to upgrade our church. So we do need to upgrade, or we need to import some of the either rough stone to turn into dress stone, or just import straight up dress stone and get ready with the rest of the materials, roof tiles and mortar. So we'll probably get after we finish these current building tasks, we'll probably get a lime kiln up for mortar. And we'll probably build a stonemason station and import rough stone so it's cheaper, and then turn that into the dress stone that we need. And then we'll get a mining pit for some clay over here soon as well, so we can start producing the roof tiles. So we're thinking ahead about what we're going to need for these upgrades. Let's add more pigs to these backyards that we added here, the livestock backyards. There we go. We got a total of 6 pig pens now. So with a decent amount of pig pens, with the bonus that we have from the woodland affinity, and then combined with the hunting that we have with the hunting hound or whatever, our meat category should be fulfilled no problem. We have a bunch of berries, which is the foraged goods. That's no problem. And if we need to supplement that more, we can import some flour and bake some bread super easily. If you've watched the bread video, you know how easy that's going to be. The last one, the main one that we're going to need some ramp up time for, is the fruits, and those are coming in. So we have pears and apples here, which we put in a bit ahead of time. So we're getting some pretty good stuff set up here for in anticipation, of the upcoming upgrades. All right. All of those building tasks are completed, it looks like now, right? We're good? Okay. Another thing that we need to think ahead about here, which I kind of have forgotten about up until this point, is tools. We don't have iron, right? So we do need to at least import. We're going to go ahead and to our trading post, and we're going to import at least like 10 iron ore. We don't need a bunch. We're just going to import 10 iron ore. And we're going to go ahead and get up a bloomery and a smithy, and make sure that we are able to produce some tools to supplement here. We'll just put that back over here. It's fine. It's not a big deal. This isn't something that we're going to have staffed all the time. It's just for whenever we need tools. You've been having a problem making the dressed stone. Okay. So the dressed stone, I'm not sure what exactly you mean by having a problem making it, but I'm assuming maybe you are only collecting the rubble stone, which is what's accessible to pretty much like every region. That's just like the standard regular stone that's available. But to make the dressed stone blocks, it's a different resource category, you actually need rough stone, which is not obtainable from a regular stone deposit. That is only obtainable exclusively from a rich stone deposit. So it's a kind of a, you know, maybe a bit rare that you actually do get access naturally within your own region to the rough stone to make to the dress stone. So basically, if you don't have a long story short, if you don't have a rich stone deposit in your region, you are not going to be able to produce dress stone. Simple as that. You're going to need to import rough stone to turn into dress stone, or you're going to need to just import the dress stone straight up. Sorry if that's, I don't know if that maybe isn't necessarily the situation you're in, but I'm just assuming. You put 2 workers in, but they don't go get the rough stone from storage. Oh, okay. So you have rough stone, and you have this building. You have the stonemason station, and you have rough stone, but they're, for whatever reason, not... The workers at the stonemason station are not going to get the rough stone to turn into the dress stone. Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So I gotcha. Okay. So they're trying, I see. So you're trying to, okay. So you're thinking that they're just not going to get the stone, but the problem is they just have access to the wrong type of stone. They just have the rubble stone. Yeah. I think that one was a common, that when I first opened the beta here, that got me too. I was like, for a while there, I was going through and I had the stone and I was like, where the heck are my stone blocks? Like, what's going on here, you know? As soon as we get a little bit of iron in, we'll staff that up and catch up on some tools here. Yeah, right, yeah, there's 3 types of stone now, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little, that one totally caught me off guard at the beginning. Alright, let's restaff the hunting here. Berries can take a sec. Let's restaff our forester's hut. Get the trees replanted. We want this to stay efficient over here. How are we doing on all the other stuff? Okay, now we've got a decent amount, so we're gonna start selling these. Export. Sell all shields. Good, we're gonna start getting more pelts coming in too to sell again. So our trade should ramp up here now that we're gonna start selling shields. Pelts are coming in, and we're still selling charcoal. Really good. We're starting to see, look, we're starting to see a little bit of pork now, so the pigs are starting to slowly kick in, so that's good. This coming fall season, we should see a partial harvest from our pears and apple trees. We're not going to get like a massive harvest, but we'll see a partial harvest, so got some things coming together here. We're also, like I said, going to think ahead about mining pit over here for clay. Once again, we're thinking ahead about having the materials that we're going to need for upgrading the church and houses and stuff with the roof tiles. It's a bit out of the way, obviously, but, you know, we'll make do. Yeah, for what it's worth, if you have a rich stone deposit, the stuff on the surface is rubble stone collected to a hut, and then you build a quarry on it, and they... Yes. Yes. Yeah, Bath is 100% correct, as usual. Hey, what's up, Luminously? Do you know why the iron takes forever to mine, like how it used to before? Yeah, so couple answers to that question. So first of all, the mining rates, once again, if you check out the video that I have pinned in the chat here, it talks about several fixes that they have already confirmed internally. Mining rates is one of the things that they've already confirmed, that they are going to increase the mining rates. So, in general, you will see higher mining rates once we get the full patch here. That being said, I don't know if this is what you did, but I know for sure a lot of people have fallen into this trap where they are, for example, if they have a rich iron deposit, they upgrade it to a deep mine, like right away, and using the word upgrade loosely here because it's not even necessarily an upgrade. It's a chain. Like converting your mine to a deep mine is a trade-off of like now you're getting indefinite resources, but the production rate goes down. And it doesn't say it on the tooltip, which is dumb. But it's always been that way. The deep mines have always reduced the mining productivity comparatively to just mining the surface materials. So once again, I don't know if that's what you did, but I've seen a lot of people that are just like, they have a rich iron mine, they put the mine on it, and now that it's not locked behind a development point or whatever, they're just like, oh, I can upgrade this to a deep mine? Hell yeah. But it's not really an upgrade, it's actually a downgrade. It's a trade-off is what it is that now you're getting indefinite resources, but it's at a lower production rate. So really should only be done once you've gathered majority of the surface materials. Apparently you need to, I've heard a lot of people saying that now if you let the mine run out of the surface materials, then you're not going to be able to upgrade it to a deep mine. So I guess you do need to upgrade the deep mine before you completely take every single resource from the surface, but mine out like 99% or whatever of the surface and then turn it to a deep mine. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so like I said, it's a bit of a it is bugged, or quote unquote bugged, whatever. Like the mining rates are less than they should be. However, even after they patch this and they're like, yeah, we increased the mining rates, everything that I just said about the deep mines is still going to apply. Right? So even after this patch comes out and they're like, yeah, we increased the mining rates, still don't upgrade your mine to a deep mine until you mined out majority of the surface materials. And once again, hopefully they add that to the tooltip, right? But yeah. You know how it'd be out here. You know how it'd be out here in the Manor Lords world. So if you don't have a rich stone deposit, you have to buy a trade route. Yeah, well, so you have a couple options there. How not to. So you could buy the trade route for the dress stone and just import that straight up, or you could go here to the crafting materials section and you could import rough stone without needing a trade route, and it is a bit cheaper as well. And then you would just build your own, what is this called? The stone. You would just build your own stonemason station and then convert the rough stone. But so you could just straight up go dress stone, import that, or you could just go rough stone in the minor trade category and import that. Those are your options. Or like you said, import it from another region using bartering if you have it in another region. Of course, yes, that is also an option. Okay, we got a couple more houses that just came in. Let's also staff up our forger again. Let's build the herb garden just in case people are getting sick. Help with that. We have more people coming into the town. Okay, things are looking pretty good. Did we get the iron that we need yet? Yes, we did. Okay. We need to catch up on tools here pretty quick. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that before we get to the berries, actually. I'm going to move these guys to Bloomery. We're just going to get through this. I just ordered 10 iron. We're just going to turn that into bars and turn those into tools just to make sure that we're good with maintenance, upcoming maintenance requirements. Yeah, better to just buy the rough stone and convert it, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you've already bought a bunch of other trade routes, then the price can get pretty steep, yeah. So, in that case, and I mean, it kind of depends too, like how much dress stone are you trying to get, right? Like, are you trying to get like enough to build like a full castle, or are you just trying to get the 20 that you need to upgrade the church? You know what I mean? If you're just going for the 20 that you need to upgrade the church, I would definitely say just put this to import and don't worry about buying any trade route or anything like that, and just get the rough stone and convert that. If you're trying to get like a ton of it to build like a big castle and whatever, then that might be a different a different story, but. Yeah, and there is also kind of similar to what Bath mentioned about like how there's a development perk, and I mentioned this in the Castle Planner guide. There is a development perk for the Castle Planner that reduces the cost of anything for the Castle Planner by like 30% or so. It's like a significant amount. So if you are trying to build like a big castle and you don't have access to the rich stone and whatever, you could help yourself out by we can't see it now because I've already taken the other development point and we can't get back into the menu. I forget what the name of it is, but there is a perk in there that makes it cheaper for the Castle Planner. You don't need as many materials, so less dress stone that you'll need and everything else. But also, there's also a that same perk also has like a benefit for the stone. It says the stonemason stations like work more effectively or something like that. So it's like less cost for the Castle Planner, and you are able to create the dress stone more efficiently or whatever. Anyways, like I said, I would not recommend doing that unless you're like really trying to build like a big castle, because there's not really any other use for this dress stone. But you know, if you're trying to do that, it could be a decent, you know, route to help you out a little bit. I feel like we could use another ox here too. These guys are trekking across town. Now that I understand what I was doing wrong, makes sense to buy the cheaper stuff and upgrade. Yeah, no worries, dude. For sure. Absolutely. So I'm gonna need one of these too, one of these stonemason stations. Yeah, let's put that over here. We did get our, so we're just kind of planning ahead here. We need more people to move in, we need more staff, but we're gonna start mining clay to think ahead about roof tiles. We're getting our stonemason station up in anticipation of importing some rough stone for the blocks that we need to upgrade the church. We are converting our iron into iron slabs right now. And we're getting ready to make some more tools because we only have one left, so we gotta make sure we stay ahead on that. Yep, everything's looking pretty good. There's a new family that just moved in. Perfect. Let's get them working on those tools. We did get that new hitching post. I'm gonna order another ox. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's increase our pasture space real quick. Pasture. Make another one of these ridiculously thin little... Look at that. That holds 28 sheep. We got space for like 60 sheep right here. Somehow. It's like so silly. You've had a dog for a couple months now. Oh my gosh, that's true. Where is our hunting dog? Honestly, what's going on with the hunting dog? I gotta see this. Oh, there he is. Hold on. Yo, look at this thing. Oh, dude, that's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. Dude. Go get the rabbits. Go get them. Go hunt them down. Oh, we're heading to the rabbit. We're heading to the rabbit area.
Berries so plump and juicy, you'll want to eat them by the bushel.
Here, let's... Wait, where'd they go? They went in here. They go... Oh, they just went home? Oh, he just follows around... Hound going somewhere. Our hound is just meandering around the town right now. What are you doing, dude? Go hunt the rabbits. We got a dog on the loose.
Berries, berries.
Dude, what are we paying this dog for, dude? Come on. Oh my goodness. That is pretty cool, though. I'm not gonna lie. I had not seen that yet. Come on, dude. Go shred the rabbits. What are you doing? Oh no. Strasbourg Masons. That's the name of it. Yo, Marcus, welcome back, dude. What's up, dude? Yeah, Strasbourg Masons. That's the one. That's the one. That is the one. Welcome back, dude. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Alright, cool. We're catching up on our tools here. Getting that sorted out. No problemo. I know, right? What's our doggo doing? Wait, where did he go now? Oh, then he went... Oh, we missed it. Now he actually went out hunting. We only saw the dog wandering around the town. Alright, we gotta see this thing actually get into action here. We missed it. Dang it. I think they're waiting for it to repopulate. That is funny though, watching the dog. I think they're waiting for it to repopulate now, so we're gonna put them on the berries for a little bit. Alright. What's going down? What's going down? Okay, iron and tools are being finished up. That's good. Timber and plank. Okay, good. Our timber and plank situation is looking a lot stronger than it did before. That's really good. Charcoal's maintaining. Shields are also maintaining. Okay, we're doing good on our you know, production of the items that we got going right now. That is looking really good. Okay, so we just need more people to move in. We need a couple more staff for some of these tasks. I'll put a couple more houses. All right. Sorry, Mr. Oh, no worries, dude. No worries. No worries at all. You've been picking at picking apples in real life or in the town? What kind of apples are we talking here? I live in Washington State in West Coast, and there's tons of apple trees around here. Every time I go down the driveway, like the neighbor has a big apple tree, and there's like just apples all over the ground, and there's like deers. I live like on an island, and there's just like deer. Like every time I go outside, and they're just like in the driveway, and like just like eating the apples. I'm just like, dude, get out of the way. They're living the high life out here. Nice, real life. Yeah, backyard tree. Heck yeah. Oh, you've got Fijian pink lady. Nice. Oh, that's so cool. That's what's up. I have no idea what kind. I know there's green, the Granny Smith, the green ones, in the driveway here, but I don't know. There's some other ones too. I don't know what they are. There's so many apples around here though. Washington apples, you know. All right, we need people moving in our town. I'm gonna go 12x just like sparingly here, just to skip through a little bit, but we don't want to incur too many traffic jams. Okay, I want someone to get started on mining some clay. Running out of fuel. Let's take a look. Okay, I mean, we could think about pausing on charcoal to let it reset. I mean, it hasn't quite gotten completely oversaturated yet. But it could be a decent opportunity to just let it reset anyways and let our charcoal situation kind of stock back up here. We'll keep an eye on that. Livestock situation is steadily growing, so that is good. Okay, we got one more round of import, and I think we'll be good. Then our profits will go up too. We'll stop spending on that so much. We can see pork is slowly starting to gain. We have a decent amount of pork and small gain, so meat's fine. Forage gets good, yeah. So once we get the fruits coming in, we'll have all the categories that we need. Apple pie time at Marcus's house. That's right. Yeah, Washington is a great apple. It's true, dude. That's right. Let's go get fresh apple pie, man. So why do they call New York the Big Apple? Dude, that's a good question, right? That's a good question. Honestly, I don't even know why do they call New York the Big Apple? That is a good question. I don't know. Honestly, do not even know. Alright, I'm gonna stop worrying about iron conversion and all that. We're good on tools for a second. Just wanted to finish up the tools that we can do with these slabs that are ready, and then move on. Okay, let's go ahead and think ahead about our, like we've been talking about that rough stone. Let's set that up. So I'm gonna go import 20. We need 20, right? Yeah, we need 20 stones. We're gonna get that imported, and then we're gonna set up over here. We need a stonemason station and a lime kiln, and those are gonna be the rest of the. We got the stonemason station already. I forgot we were ahead on that, and then we'll just get a lime kiln here. These things, I'm not worried about putting these things like, you know, in a super efficient spot, because these are only going to be staffed like sparingly just for, you know, a couple things that we need. But we're just thinking ahead about what we're going to need to upgrade this church and upgrade houses and all that. But as we can see here, just to give you a visual representation of what I keep talking about with the categories here for the food and stuff. So, you know, we've got the first one because we have plenty of berries from the foraged goods. We have the second one because we have plenty of food from the rich hunting and the hunting hound, and then also from pork from the we're doing the pigs in the backyard because we have that affinity bonus, and then we're going to get the fruits from our orchards, and then we'll have all three of these set. We know we have fuel. Clothing will come soon as we're ramping up our livestock. Church, as we've been talking about, we're getting the materials ready to upgrade the church. We have water, obviously, no problem. And then the last thing we'll need to think about is beverage, ale, right? So I'm planning on using economy as well to just import barley, and then we will build a malt house and get a brewer extension, and then we'll just produce our own ale, and then that'll be everything that we need. And once again, we're on the beta here, so like, you know, the consumption rates of the clothing and stuff are going to be kind of wacky, but just kind of just for a quick little stream challenge here, and just to see what, you know, what's needed for tier 3 and how it's possible and all that. Hard cider, yeah, you're making hard cider? Yeah, dude, that's what's up. I know. It's only soon we'll be able to make hard cider in Manor Lords too, right? Soon we can make that cider. That's cool though, you make your own cider in real life. That's really cool. That's gonna be some good stuff. You making it extra strong or what? We'll keep an eye on here in our rough stone. Once that comes in, we'll get those crafted and we'll turn off the import. We only want to import 20. I don't care about anything beyond that. And then we'll probably get a clay furnace. I think I'll put the clay furnace like right here. Right on the edge of that, but next to our storehouse. That's good. Let's have them finish this first. What's up, Cayman? Is clothing still bugged? You're having a hell of a time keeping them stocked. Yep. Clothing is still bugged on the beta, however. If you watch the video that I have pinned here in the chat, that does show shed some more insights onto the clothing situation, along with some information for some fixes that they've confirmed for the beta, and just some really good information in general about clothing and stuff. But yes, it is, to answer your question, long story short, it is still bugged currently, yes. The consumption rate is still bugged, yes. And we only care about, what do we need, 10? Yeah, so I'm just going to set a production limit. We only care about making 10 mortar. I don't care about anything beyond that. We're not worried about building a castle or anything, so I'm just getting the stuff that we need for the church here. And we're building up wool. So soon here, yeah, let's go ahead and staff up this weaver's hut too. There we go. And I think we just got Roughstone in. Yes, we did. See, we just bought the Roughstone. I saw that trade right there. So we're going to go Roughstone, no trade. So we got the 20 that we need, and that's all we need. Very good. So next time we get an available family, we're going to assign them to the stonemason station and get that Roughstone converted to the Dressstone, and then we'll be just about ready with everything we need for this church upgrade. Almost. Yeah, the clothing made you stop playing. Gotcha. I hear you, dude. Have you, I mean, Marcus, I feel like you've watched the video though, right? The one that I have pinned with the clothing stuff. It's honestly the livestock, dude. The livestock is the key. You gotta have, and by livestock I mean sheep. Oh yeah, let's take these guys off. By livestock I mean sheep, because the sheep can, they produce the amount of like passive wool into linen, or wool into yarn that they produce is crazy. And you can easily produce, and since the sheep naturally reproduce with, you know, now with without the sheep breeding perk, yeah, the sheep are just like super S tier for sure. And then on top of that, you get a butcher shop. You butcher them, then you get hides as well, and then you can also make the shoes. But yeah, long story short, I definitely, if you haven't, make sure, if you guys, anyone out there, if you haven't, I would highly recommend checking out the guide that's pinned in the chat here. Answers a lot of frequently asked questions and some really good info on, you know, just kind of clothing demands in general and some other stuff. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you just started playing with the beta. Even better than, oh yeah, cool. I know, right? Yeah, we'll see when the full release comes. Well, as far as like the full release for this specific patch, I think it's coming very soon. But like full release for the game, yeah, I think it's still gonna be a while for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you had a problem with clothes even with 3 weavers and 3 tailors and 250 sheep. Yeah, gotcha. So when you built a tailor, they seemed to come alive and ended up selling clothes. Wait. So what do you mean by they seem to come alive? I mean, either way, though, guys. Like I said, if you're having problems keeping up with the clothing and stuff right now, you know, it's really not. There probably is some things maybe that you could do differently or better or whatever, but you know, really at the end of the day, is that probably you're not really doing too much wrong, and that it's just the fact that it's like, you know, the consumption rate is literally 6 times what it should be. So you know, it's a pretty significant difference, obviously. Like Bath mentioned earlier, though, you could try, if you haven't taken a development perk, you could try going into the, I don't know what the name of it is off the top of my head, but there's a perk that reduces the clothing consumption by 50%, by half. Which I don't think will be necessary once it gets fixed, but it could be you know, helpful for now, you know, if you're trying to grow your town for now and it's causing a lot of grief. How are we doing on... Okay, we're done with mortar. These guys are done. Done. They're getting through with the dress stone. Very good. Clay's coming in. Let's start getting these roof tiles produced. Okay. He's got a couple more tools to make. Then we'll take him off of that for a little bit. Things are looking good, though. We have a couple more houses that we can put a couple more livestock right here that are like in the close area. Could probably use some more storage workers here in a sec as well. Let's see. Yeah, honest. Yeah, like Bass, I would check out that Origins if you're it could be worth a shot. Could only upgrade 5 or 6 houses. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then it gets crazy. Yeah, totally. Yeah. When you built the tailors, it's like they didn't like the competition. Oh, interesting. What the heck? That is really interesting how not to. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That is a weird one. I mean, it could be. I don't know if once again there's so many variables, but another thing is like if you guys are running the game on the 12x speed like this, you're gonna probably run into like a bunch of just random issues, like in general, which is pretty much just due to the fact that the game internally logistically can't. It runs into problems with like the pathing of all the stuff and whatever. So that could be. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if I don't know if that's exactly what's going on in every situation that you guys are bringing up. But if that is something that you guys are doing as well, just make sure that every once in a while you're running on the 12x, just turn it back down to like normal speed for a second, and there could be some issues in the pathing or whatever that they'll kind of work themselves out in a couple seconds, and then you can speed it back up again. But any kind of random various issues like that kind of seem unexplainable, if you are running on the top speed, it could definitely be due to that. Okay, they're almost done with those dress stone. Very good. Roof tiles are starting to come in. Tools are good for now. We're done with tools for now. Done data. Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and staff another person on this storehouse. And another person on our granary. Very good. And this is also in anticipation of, we're about to turn into September here, right? So it's a good thing that we just double staffed our granary. We have the granary upgraded because we're going to have a haul of apples and pears coming in here. It's not going to be a full haul because the trees are not fully mature yet, but we just want to make sure that we're ready with granary workers staffed up, have access to the hand carts and everything so that they can keep up with the harvest that's going to come in here. And we could take it one step further here by, these guys that are assigned to jobs. I don't think it's really too necessary right now because, the harvest is like the trees aren't mature or whatever. But if the trees were more mature, I would probably take this opportunity right as we're on the cusp of September. I would take these guys off of their jobs and assign them to like a grave digger or something like that, so that they pretty much only focus on just for the month of September, so that they get the maximum. Make sure that they harvest all the apples that are on the property. You know what I mean? Right now, we don't really necessarily have like the labor available for it, and since it's not like a fully mature harvest, anyways, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But that would, as we probably in like the coming years and stuff, that is probably going to be what we do. But we're looking pretty good. We'll just keep an eye here on what it's looking like as we're gathering these pears and apples, just as this is our first harvest. So once again, it's going to be a limited harvest, but it's going to be better. It's still better than nothing. Pro tip: make sure you set the tailors to make the kind of clothing that matches what you have. Yes, absolutely, because they look exactly the same. Yeah, it could be easy to click the wrong one. Honestly, to get T3, just wait for the microsecond a house meets the requirements before upgrading. Yeah, as soon as you see that little icon pop up, you're like, now's my chance. Yeah, that's totally fair too. Yeah, overall surprised how relatively stable the beta is. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is. I think, as far as like stability, I think the main issue on the beta is with the castle planner. The castle planner definitely has issues. I personally myself have crashed several times while using the castle planner, and I've seen a ton of people commenting about it as well.
Poor quality, he said.
So castle planner seems to have some stability issues, but other than that, I don't think there's been too much stability issues. Just kind of random bugs and stuff,
So tender, it practically melts in your mouth.
All right, we still have a couple extra houses. How we doing here? Oh, look at that, guys. We're ready. All right, cool. So we are done with stone, dress stone. We're done with tiles, clay tiles for now. Let's assign them so they're available for construction, because we need to bring a lot of materials over here. We're going to upgrade our church. There we go. Very nice. Yeah, it could be the 12X. You're on a gaming laptop, so... Yeah. Well, in regardless of like you know, power or anything, I think it's just like an internal thing, like with the game code or whatever, that it just like the pathing in particular, they, since everything needs to be physically transported in Manor Lords, it's like all these peasants that are, you know, you have dozens of peasants running around the town, going in and out of doorways to the granary and the storehouse and the trade post and the what have you, and then oxens are trying to bring logs down the pathway, and then a trader comes with the horse cart and blah blah blah. When it's running at the max speed, it's like all of those things, they just like it becomes harder for them to like figure it out at the speed that they need to figure it out. What are some other good jobs to give people in homes that harvest? Yeah, that's a good question. Very good question, Cayman. So we have a couple options there. You have a new option. New option, if you want to try it out, is we can't see it because I can't go to the menu because we've already taken a development perk here in this town. But on the new development tree, there is a new development perk that you can invest into. I think it's called Bamberg Smallholders or something like that. And there's a perk, or one of the perks in that development point or whatever, is called Smallholding, which allows you to turn any house into an artisan workstation, essentially, so they'll only work there. So you can, if we got that point, then we would be able to come here and be like, now you guys that work on this veggie farm, or whatever it is, are now permanently assigned here, and you're not allowed to do any other job. So that is one option. That's a new option. Otherwise, the best options are going to be, once again, in my opinion, I like to use corpse pits, because you can just place them anywhere, and if you assign someone at a corpse pit, it makes them a grave digger, and they literally have no task at all unless there's dead bodies in the town, and there's, very rarely, if ever, dead bodies in the town, right? Hopefully. So Gravedigger's a good one. That being said, there are some other good, like for example the saw pit. I know a lot of people like to use the saw pit.
Get your meat here.
A lot of people like to use the saw pit for a job assignment for if they live on a big veggie farm or something like that, because the saw pit typically only takes one person. Only one person works at the saw pit at a time. I've also seen some other people that they like to put it on the granary. Little bit of personal preference there. There are some that are probably technically the most efficient. I think saw pit is one of them. Bath probably has some insight on this, I would imagine. But otherwise, personally, I like to just assign them to corpse pits, to be honest. I think that's just the most easiest way to just guarantee that they're not doing anything other than those farming tasks. And that being said, I would really only do that for veggie farms, not for the apple farms. I would do that same strategy for the apple farms only in September, because they don't need to work at the apple farm year round. They only need to work at the apple farm in September specifically.
It practically melts in your mouth. Go and
So
see for yourself.
I would, typically, another good guide here I'll link for you guys if you haven't seen this one. I posted it probably, I don't know, within the last year or so. Still relevant. Some of the specifics will change, as far as like the backyard extensions are a little different with the veggie plots and stuff. Food production. Yeah. So in that food production layout guide, I also like, because I do the massive backyards of the veggies and apples, and I talk a bit more about some of the, like, how I'm moving the family assignments around or whatever, seasonally and stuff like that, to make sure that they're getting the, focusing on that task and stuff. Yeah, try out the small holding. Yeah, that's a really good thing to try out too, though. I definitely encourage, like, if you haven't, tried out the small holdings, it's definitely worthwhile. Once again, I would only use it on a large vegetable farm. I don't think the small holding perk is worth it on anything else currently. I wouldn't put it on an orchard farm. I wouldn't put it on, if you have pigs in the backyard or anything like that. I think at this point, the only thing I would recommend using the small holding on is, a large vegetable backyard. Let's get hunting going again. Okay, we're starting to do good on yarn and stuff. Trade's looking a lot better too. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start getting clothing under production here. So I want, I would kind of like to have another house like right here, to be honest with you.
Practically melt
Maybe I'll move this forager hut.
Go and see for yourself.
We're at the end of this season anyways. I'm just going to take down the forager hut and then we'll rebuild it for the next season. Whatever, we got plenty of berries. I don't need to get the last 24 of them. I'm going to put a house right here that's going to be for the tailor. That way it's right next to all this stuff.
You'll want to eat them by the bushel.
You want to eat them by the bushel. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad batch. These things do happen from time to time.
Okay, let's go right here. Okay, this is going to be our tailor shop right here. Okay, we need to assign some people here again. What do we need? We're still good on tools. Yeah, we're still good on tools. We're gonna have some time in winter too to get. I'll probably do some iron stuff, catch up on that during winter, and then maybe some more like clay production as well. During winter, we're looking pretty good on like seasonal tasks. Otherwise, though, to be honest, I think we're ahead on some stuff here. We're looking strong. I mean, our economy is strong. Resources are strong. We're in a good spot here. So as you can see now, I mean, even in that first yield, look how many pears and apples we got, right? I mean, this is the first yield. The trees are not nearly mature, and I didn't even bother like reassigning the workers to make sure that they like for sure got every apple that was possible to be harvested on their lot. So like that's a pretty strong harvest like right away here, right? I mean, it's only going to get more and more and more, obviously, so we should have no problem at all keeping up with you know, all three of these categories should be fine. And pretty much at this point, all we're missing is the clothing, which we're going to start producing, and then we're just going to start importing, you know, like the barley and malt or whatever, and then we have ale, and then we're there, we're golden. So let's think ahead about that malt house. Where do we want to do brewing? We don't necessarily have like a super ideal spot for that, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just go ahead and go right here. And then I'm going to do what I'm going to do is we're going to go malt house. We're going to put brewery right next to it. And then we'll do a separate granary. Because you need a storehouse is not for, we need granary for the beer stuff, for the barley, malt, and ale. Yeah, so we're going to have a separate granary. We're going to have the malt house. We're going to turn one of these houses into a brewery extension, and then we're going to put tavern right here. There we go. So we're getting ready for our last little set of requirements here, guys, and then we're ready to ramp up to tier 3. Yeah, so, just another guy, did they fix the clothing? Thank you, Caven. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, Caven. The logic is that the small holding boosts production by 20%. Yes. Correct. Correct, yeah. I mean, do you agree, though, Baff, that it is worth it for, like, if you have a big veggie farm, right? But probably nothing else, right, for the small holding? Like, if you have a big veggie farm with a double plot and all that, right, it's probably still worth it. Pears and cabbage are big producers. So actually, interestingly enough, how not to. We did a live stream on Friday, and instead of orchards, I did 2 vegetable patches that were pretty much the same size, and I did 1 carrots and 1 cabbage. The carrots outproduced the cabbage by double, which doesn't make any sense. And I, you know, this was like after they had been, you know, the fields have been turned a couple times and stuff, so it wasn't just like, you know, the first harvest and whatever, like, you know, it went the full amount of time that it was supposed to. So I don't know, I have definitely seen some discrepancies. I've heard some people saying that the cabbages are really good. I've heard other people saying the cabbages are really bad, when we did the live stream on Friday, the results that we got were definitely the carrots were literally double the production of the cabbage for us, like pretty much the same size plot right next to each other. Large veggie farms don't work much outside their burgage anyway. Not sure what you mean by that. You mean the work, if there's workers who are on, like, who reside in a house with a large veggie farm, they don't do much outside of their burgage plot anyways? They definitely will. Yeah, no, they definitely will. If you have people that are at a large veggie farm, if they are assigned to other random tasks, that will 100% impede on their production at the veggie farm. Yes, absolutely. Hopefully small holdings expand their scope in the future. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking, Cayman. It would be nice if, like, maybe, like, if it was, like, a small holding on, like, a different type of, like, if it was a small holding for, like, the orchards or like, pig pens or something like that, that maybe that it, you know, you got a boost in some other different way that didn't, I don't know, that didn't, you know, make them just completely stuck there or something. But, yeah, I agree. Where are we at? Alright, we're getting into end of season here. Let's line up some other kind of tedious tasks that are just going to take some time. Let's ramp up some more clay. Let's get our iron that we have around smelted up and ready for more tools. What else? We need people to move in here so that we can upgrade this house and then start making clothes. We have our brewing infrastructure pretty much ready to go over here. Let's set the advanced settings here so that we only accept brewery related items at this granary that we made for this area. Oh, not that. Malt. So ale, malt, and barley. Basically, that's it. Good. You thought about it a little. There is some sense. A cabbage is significantly bigger than a carrot. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd, but it does, you know, like on the tooltip, it does say, are these guys out of trees in the... So I know there was a question earlier, side note, there was a question earlier about how many foresters or whatever. As we can see here, I mean, they do have trees that they've been planting, as we can see, that they are maturing now, so there's going to be a good chunk of trees that are going to come in here. But we did, as we can see, we are kind of falling behind as far as, you know, they're expanding outward faster than the trees are being replanted. So, you know, we could probably do with some additional forester's hut labor over here. So maybe we could slap in another one. Okay, family moved in, ready, perfect. Now we can upgrade this, and we'll get ready for tailor shop right here. Excellent. And we're also going to go ahead and get a head start on setting up barley import. Let's just make sure we have... Yeah, whatever. We don't need to import too much at a time, to be honest. Maybe, I don't know, let's just put it on like 20, I guess. But yeah, we don't really need to have like a ton of it around. Yeah, it is interesting with the cabbages, because it does say on the tooltip that the cabbages are supposed to yield more. But I mean, then like you said, logically, it's like, I mean, a cabbage does take more like physical space than a carrot, right? So I mean, it kind of makes sense that they would take more. We don't need that stonemason station anymore, nor do we need this kiln anymore. So I'm just gonna get rid of these buildings. But yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, that's what Tacticat said too. Okay, yeah, small holdings for large doubles, not for small. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. So is it better to have one forester and 2 huts, or 2 foresters and 1 hut? Ooh, that's a good question. I think it doesn't matter, other than the fact that, like, if you put 2, then you can set, like, 2 separated, like, areas, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, I can put a work area over here, and then also a work area, like, over here, I guess. So, I guess in that sense, you get maybe more control. But I don't, yeah, I assume it's going to be this, if we just put a second person on here, it'd basically be the same. That being said, we're going to take them off right now since it's winter and they can't do anything, but yeah. Okay, not too shabby, guys. Things are really coming along. We're gonna halt on the hunting for a hot second here too. Let that replenish. What's going on with clay? Let's get some roof tiles produced here. Let's get more people producing clay. This clay is like super far out of the way, and the clay production, like the mining rates are low. So we're just gonna, during the winter while we have extra staff around, we're just gonna hit the clay hard. Okay, we converted our iron into iron slabs. Look, there's just a couple ore remaining, and then we'll go ahead and have them make a bit more tools. We're staying ahead on that, no problem. I'm really happy with how our planks have stayed far ahead. Like, our joiner shops have at no point been like, we need more planks to be able to continue producing shields, since that's our highest, most profitable item. It's really good. Yeah, overall, we're in a pretty good position here. Yep, we got that clothing coming. Oh, this thing got upgraded, so we can now officially turn this into our tailor's workshop. There we go. Clothes are on the way, and our last thing, guys, is beverages. So look how close we are. And we're not even in. We're at the end of year 2 here, guys. Year 2. No problem.
Don't be shy,
Right.
sirs and ladies. Come one, come all.
And we'll keep an eye on the bar. So once we get that barley imported, then we'll staff up like the malt house and start getting that rolling as well.
Come on, come on.
Oh, these guys need water access. We just need another well. Let's just get another well real quick.
Firewood.
Put that right there. Dude, side note, I saw someone on the chat. I felt so bad because there's this dude who commented on the channel, and they asked like about the upgrading the church, because you need mortar for the church, which is this right here, and you guys see the mortar icon, you know what I mean? It's like the bucket. And the guy, they commented, and they were like, how many, like, do I need to build 10 water wells to be able to upgrade my church? Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? And I was like, wait, I don't understand. What do you mean 10 water wells to build a church? Like, I don't understand. What? Are you just, like, trolling? Or what? I don't get the question. And then he was like, no, I figured it out. It's because the water well icon is the same icon as the frickin', as the mortar. So when he was like hovering over, I felt bad. And then I was like, oh, dude. Because when he was hovering over the icon to upgrade the church, it's like 10 mortar, 10 water well icon. So he's like, I need to build 10 water wells? So hopefully they change the icon between the water well and the mortar. Because as soon as he said that, then I was like, oh my god. Now I could totally see how that's confusing. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you didn't already play before and like you're not already used to like the water well icon, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Oh man, alright. Classic, right? Alright, so our tailor's here. We are now producing clothes from yarn. Let's do this. There we go. It's coming in. Let's see if we can keep up with that. And as soon as we get that we got barley. Here we go. We're staffing up our malt house. We're gonna staff up our granary. And we'll take one more worker to staff the tavern. And yeah. Dude, once that settles in, once that starts rolling, I mean, we're going to have everything. We're going to be ready to upgrade tier 3. Still need a couple of these, still need tier 2, so let's get that. Oh, we never put the pigs in the backyard on these too. We'll do that in after that too. Oh, we're nearly there, guys. We are nearly there. Tier 3 is on the horizon. Awesome. Let's switch this guy. I mean, we did import a little bit more iron ore. I guess we could just keep making the slabs for now. It's not like we need tools like in you know, pressing or anything. So just have them keep producing iron, and then that way we know that we have it ready. And once again, guys, no iron node in the region here. Very easy to keep up with the tool demand. I literally just import like 10 iron ore. I just keep it on the trading post, 10 iron ore surplus at a time. Very low cost. We're just trading the normal economy items that I have in the guide for economy, no problem at all. Keeping up with all those demands. We're getting level 2 here so that we're ready for level 3 because we're starting to get material. We have roof tiles stocking up. We have plenty of planks, so we're going to need roof tiles, planks, and timbers. We might actually want to halt on the planks for a second, to be honest with you, because we need to stack up more timbers.
Berries so plump and juicy.
But yeah, we're there. We're right here now. We're starting to get ale coming in. Sorry, we're starting to get malt coming in. I forgot though. Actually, we skipped a step. I need to get the freaking brewery up. We didn't get the brewery, so we're gonna upgrade this guy right here. Oops. So right here, we're gonna have our brewery household, the malt house, the granary that's only accepting ale-related production items, and then the tavern right across the street. So we have our ale set up over here, and then we're good to go, guys. This is it. We're on the home stretch. Tier 3 hype. I mean, we're still going to have plenty of pears and apples still, even. I mean, just from it's crazy how much I really think the orchards are just so good. I have always advocated for the orchards. Pretty much in every playthrough that I would do beforehand, even when you needed to develop, I would tell people, like, dude, if there's any one single development point you take, it's the orchards, honestly. Like, oh my gosh, so powerful. And now that you don't even need a thing for it, they're a little more expensive, of course, if you do like a big plot, but you know, it's definitely worth it, dude. The orchards are crazy. How they require so little labor and they produce so much food. It's bonkers. And it's the third category of food. It's like the third tier category of food. So it's like just win, 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 you know? All right, this guy's upgraded. Now you're a brewery.
Berries.
There we go, baby.
With flavour. Fit for a king.
As soon as they start brewing, we got everything. Looks like we're actually ahead on clothing, too. We're actually getting ahead a little bit on clothing. Oh, boy. Very nice. So not too bad, though, right, guys? I mean, it feels like pretty feasible here, right? To get all these requirements taken care of. There we go. Easy peasy. We're brewing beer now. Cool, and it's 2 beer per malt, so that should stack up, you know, relatively quickly. Get a couple more houses here to level 2, ready to go for level 3. And I'm just keeping the barley on a surplus of 20. I mean, we have so much regional wealth. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the trade route and just set it to like 50 or something. Just make sure we always have a ton of barley around. Just keep that going. Like you know, this is the thing, guys. Like the trade. If you guys follow like the core setup that I talked about in the economy guide, honestly, it's just gonna make everything that much easier in the game in general. Like having a strong economy is just opens so many doors. You know what I mean? Makes everything easier. So now that, I mean, our economy's so strong, it's like we can kind of just do whatever now. You know what I mean? Don't really need to worry too much about many of those factors. Actually, let's... Charcoal, I assume, is... the trade, it did level out, but I think we're just going to go ahead and set no trade on charcoal right now. Just because we're, like, running out of it, and... Yeah, I mean, we're selling so many shields. We do want to still sell charcoal again, but I want to kind of let that level out again here. All right. We got ale in the tavern. All right, so let's take a look here. What is going on? Yeah, so they have everything they need. Oh, okay. So I actually didn't realize this. I did not realize that you needed 2 of the... So this is a very easy fix. If you guys watched the bread video, you already know what I'm about to do here, because we already have the forage goods. That's fine. We just need a second version, which can be grains. So, like, you know what I'm about to do here, if you watch that video. We need a backyard if we want to do the bakery. We would ideally like it to be that one. Let's take a look here. What's going on? We need to get a couple more workers available. Okay, let's take another one of our clay miners. Okay. Let's get this fuel situation worked out. Let's get another woodcutter over here. Okay, but yeah, so we need either a bakery backyard extension if we want to get the 4-to-1, or we could just place a communal oven and get 2-to-1, which is still going to be like really good, to be honest with you. It's not that big of a deal. It's just literally the last piece of the puzzle that we need here. So I'm just going to slap down a communal oven just to make it a little bit easier. Put it right there. We're going to import, we're going to do the rye bread trick here, and then we are good to go, guys.
Cheated him? Never.
Make sure we keep pasture space available.
Simply does not know how to cook properly.
There we go. Looking good, guys. What do you guys think? What are you guys' thoughts here? What do you think about this setup and the strategies we used here and all that kind of stuff? Any questions? Any notes? Okay, we got a big import of barley there, so we got a bunch more beer under production now. Good. Yeah, we are good to go on everything, guys. Other than that, now we just need the bread. I honestly didn't realize that you needed 2. So you need 2 of the 3 in this first tier here. I didn't realize that. I thought you just needed 1 of the 3. So we'll get the bread here and then we're good. But yeah. What's up, Valkyrie? Having the most. You've been having the most luck economy-wise. Yeah, when you force on putting as much land under cultivation as possible. Either grain farms, if I have the fertility, or veggie orchard. Yeah, absolutely. Have a... Nice. Yeah, that's great, dude. That's great. Really, yeah, that's great to hear, dude. Awesome. Yeah, love that. That's awesome. Totally. Yeah, that's awesome. See, so the farming, like if you have the fertility... Excuse me. Yeah, the farming can be really advantageous because you can cover so many things with farming. You know, you can cover the like food, obviously, with bread and stuff, but you can also cover clothing and ale. You know, so yeah, you can do a lot with farming, which is great. Okay, we need another worker here. Let's grab this guy to the oven, and we're gonna go rye flour. I'm just once again gonna buy the trader out because we're just fine on economy. And we'll get that bread up and running here, and then we're Gucci. Get hunting again. Okay. All right, guys. Once we get this shipment of rye flour, we're in the game. Didn't mean to do a crazy zoom out there. Yeah, I know, I need more firewood. Yeah, I just turned off, what I did was I went to the trading post and I turned off, we're not selling charcoal temporarily, just so we can kind of catch up on some of our firewood situation here. And I also added a second worker to the woodcutter lodge to try to compensate for that, absolutely. The economy. Hey, Cayman, dude, check out that. You or anyone else, guys. Honestly, I highly, 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 highly recommend. Here, I'll post the economy and max profits guide. Yes, highly. If you guys have not watched that one, very highly recommend check out that economy and max profits guide. In that, so the main thing that I show in the guide, I do show like other trade items that, you know, options that you can use for like specific resource deposits that you might have in your region or whatever. But the main thing that I show is a core set of trade items that you can utilize in literally any region and any playthrough. And honestly, if you just follow that core setup, like, you are going to be set in every play. You're going to have the same economy that you see right here, basically. Actually, even better, because I'm not even selling. I'm only selling 2 of the 3 core items. I'm not selling yarn, which we could be selling yarn because we have plenty of it. But I don't know. I just kind of haven't really needed to. But yeah, I mean, might as well though. Look how much clothes when we're already like ahead on clothing and all that. So, you know. Turn that down. Oh, rye flour's here. We are baking bread. All right, it's coming up. Here we go. There we go, guys. Look at that. Here we go. Right there. Upgrade tier 3. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go, guys. Oh, we keep forgetting to put the pigs here. Tier 3 is coming. Let's grab these guys. A couple more workers available. We could also sell yarn too, kind of like, why not? But I mean, at this point, we're just in the home stretch. We are spending a little more than we're making now because we turned off the charcoal and we just imported a bunch of like barley and stuff. We have so much ale. Like, I turned down the barley. We don't need a ton. Like, we're gonna get so much bread here. We really don't need to keep importing like a ton of rye flour either. So, and now the trees are starting to mature our orchard, so we're going to get even bigger yields. But here we go, guys. Look, there's one tier 3 down. We got more coming in. There we go. That was the first video of yours you came across. Yeah. Oh, that's what's up. How not to? Thank you. Heck yeah. I have one tailor shop right here. One single tailor shop right here. That's it. We have one single tailor shop that is making the yarn version of clothing, which is just coming from the livestock that you see right here. We have 20 sheep and 35 lambs. So I only imported about 15 sheep or so, I think, by the end of it, and then I've just been letting them reproduce since then. And so I've just been getting, we have one person staffed at the sheep farm for wool, one person at the weaver shop for yarn, and we have a tailor shop right next to that, and just one tailor shop, and that's keeping up with all the clothing demand so far. And here we go, guys. We got our tier 3. We got everything. Heck yeah, guys. We made it. Any other questions or anything here, guys? We're nearing the end. We're pretty much, we've reached the end of our challenge run here. It was the goal was to get the tier 3 housing up, see how quickly we could do that. We're at the beginning of year 3 here. And once again, you know, this isn't necessarily like the most efficient, most ideal, most this, most that, right? Yeah, this is just you know, for fun stream. I really enjoy interacting with you guys and answering questions and helping out as much as possible. I also like learning from you guys. A lot of you guys have really good input too. So, but yeah, I feel like we got a lot really good setup here, right? I mean, hopefully you guys can see how powerful a lot of this is. The only reason I didn't do veggie farms here is because we had this wild animal deposit and we invested in the of the Vogtland or whatever with the hunting hound, and since the veggies and yeah, I mean, I guess it's not really veggies and forage, or yeah, it's because it's not because of the hunting, it's because we got the rich berry deposit, because veggies are in the same category as the forage goods. So if you have a rich berry deposit, like, you're not gonna have any problem keeping up with forage goods, because you're gonna have hundreds of berries. It's just the second version of that one, which you can very easily do with bread. If you've watched the bread video, you know how easy I'm talking here. And then we did well we had the rich hunting here, but we also are utilizing the fact that we have the woodland affinity bonus, and we've been putting the pork, the pig pens in the backyard to produce pork, so we can see we have a good amount of small game and pork for our meat requirements here. And then veggies and then the pears and apples just from a couple big orchards here. And we're getting low on pears and apples since now we're consuming more of them with our tier 3 housing and stuff, but that was just our first harvest from, like I said, we're barely at the beginning of year 3 here. So we only had one harvest so far of pears and apples, which was like the trees were, really small still. So that being said, we're going to get big harvest moving forward. So we have a good infrastructure. We have good trade. We have good economy. We have a good amount of resources. Our firewood situation, for whatever reason, is kind of, we need a bit of catch up on that. But that's, not a big deal. We'll just assign more people over here, whatever. Get more people replanting trees. Yada, yada. How the hell did you get ahead of the consumption lull? No importing. No importing. We did it from the start here, so if you missed, I guess, from the beginning of the playthrough, this has been a start to finish playthrough here. I didn't skip anything, so you can definitely go back and watch it if you feel like it. But basically, it's just honestly, guys, majority, like, this game is, if there's anything that this game is all about, it's logistics and efficiency of setup, right? Like, there's nothing more important than having an efficient logistical setup in your town. Honestly, you can do everything else right. You're like, oh, I got my, I got the sheep, I got the, well, I got all that stuff, but like, see, like right here, I have the sheep right here. We have the sheep farm right next to it. We have the weaver's workshop right next to that. And we have the tailor shop right next to that. And then the storehouse right next to that. And then the market right next to that, right? So it's like, at no point is anyone in this production chain of the clothing having to travel very far at all, right? So, and this is a concept that applies to literally everything. So obviously, once again, clothing rates are bugged. But just to answer your question, how is this possible? Honestly, I think the main reason why this is possible, I guess, in this setup where we only have one tailor shop, one person at the sheep farm, one weaver's workshop. How much we can see here? How much did we spend on sheep? Look, all time. We only spent 540 regional wealth on sheep in total. We only imported 18 sheep in total. 540 regional wealth. This was our investment right here for yarn and clothes and everything. That's our total investment.
Meat, get your meat here.
So yeah, it's all about the sheep, dude. The sheep are what you need really, and then just a really good logistical setup after that. But like I said though, if you're struggling to keep up with the clothing and stuff right now, it is bugged. So it's not really like you're doing something wrong necessarily. Thanks, Cayman. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not I hope you guys, I hope it's not coming off as like, oh, like, just do this and like, you'll be like so good at the game. Like, I'm super good at the game and I'm so cool. Like, nah, it's not like that. Nah, just, I just hope to help you guys with some of the information here, And, oh, if you can't do clothes right now, like, you suck. Like, nah. Nothing like that at all. If anything, I think it is cool though to get a bit of perspective on like if you can manage to like even just somewhat keep up with like clothing and stuff right now, that means you're doing a lot right, because the clothing consumption is literally 6 times what it's going to be, guys. So like, if you are even remotely able to keep up with clothing right now, that means you're definitely going to be able to keep up with clothing once it's like actually fixed. You know what I mean? Yeah, I sold the sheep, right? Yeah, we got, yeah. We're starting to, now some of the lambs are starting to mature into more sheep, but essentially we only bought 18 total sheep, and then I've just been letting the passive reproduction go from there. We are buying, yeah, we are buying in grain to turn low, wheat lows. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes, yeah, there's There's been a whole bunch of extensive discussions about all that in the bread video. Yeah, I know there's some crazy strategies that you can do with the bread thing. Right now I personally just chose to like just slap down a communal oven and just like, you know, produce a smaller amount of, you know, reasonable amount of bread just for our sake of our, you know, tier 3 challenge here. But otherwise, yeah, I would suggest do the bakery extension and make sure you're getting the 4-to-1 on the bread, and or do the thing like Baff's mentioning where instead of rye, if you import like in the wheat, you can actually, the price that the wheat bread sells for is crazy to the point where you can actually produce bread for your town, like either for free by reselling half of it or whatever, or you can actually make profit off of just baking wheat bread, like importing the grain and then turning into bread and selling it. But there's a lot of in-depth conversations about that on the bread video. If you guys look through the comments there, it's like pretty extensive.
Step right up and sample.
Is there a benefit to the small, thin sheep pens? No, just space-wise. It's just space-wise. It's just something that someone pointed out to me in the live stream the other day, because I made like, I was doing like big square pastures like this or whatever, and they were like, oh, if you just do like these little thin strips, they like, you can get like 2 or 3 times as many sheep in the space. So it's just a space saver, really. Because I think if we put a pasture like this similar size right here, right? See, so look, this holds 40. This is like a similar size, I would say, right? This right here holds 43 sheep, versus these hold like almost 30 sheep each. So we can hold over 100. I mean, it's like over double, right? It's like 2 to 3 times the amount of sheep that you can fit within the space, basically. It's just simply a space saver, and to keep things more like efficient and compact, I guess. You know what I mean? Let's take a look in our town here. Let's do a little walk around, huh? Let's do a little walk around before we wrap it up here. I'll answer the rest of you guys' questions too, of course. No, don't look at your town and cry. It's all good. No. Now you have the tools. Now you have the tools, dude, and your town's gonna be flourishing. It's all good. Yeah, I found the guys, and it's, oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, it really means a lot. You know, like I said, I'm not. I know there's a lot of other creators out there that they, you know, I'm still kind of newer and, you know, building my channel and stuff. So I don't have access to any, you know, like pre-alpha testing, or you know, like I've heard Tacticat say, like I think he posted a video yesterday. About a lot of the beta stuff, and he was like, oh, here's all the information that I got from like talking with the developers and stuff, and I'm like, what? where are you able to talk to the developers, bro? Like, I don't have access to any of that stuff, so I'm just a peasant just like you guys, but I'm just trying to you know, I grew up on games like this, and you know, feel like I have a decent amount of experience and put in a good amount of time into this one and stuff since it's been released over the last 1.5 years. Course of the early access and stuff. Of course, quite a bit has changed over that time, mostly recently, but yeah, thing says if you're farming wheat fields. Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. So wheat, like if you have a fertile patch of wheat versus a fertile patch of rye, for example, the wheat field will yield more grain than the rye farm would. Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. Because I assume otherwise the only other benefit would basically be just like a variety of different types of bread, which doesn't even really matter. It's been a good stream, yeah. Learn a few lessons on how to fix a few things. Awesome, that's good to hear. I love to hear that. Glad to hear that. Well, yeah, no, I know that I know that they're active in the Manor Lords Discord. But I think he was talking about, like, they were, like, specific, they give him information specifically. Like, I know when the patch came out, they were, like, he did a live stream, and the developers are, like, in his stream and everything, you know what I mean? Like, in real time and stuff. I'm not like that. I'm Joe Schmo, you know, so. So I share the info that I got, but I don't have all the inside scoop on everything. But yeah, I have definitely, Greg is pretty active in there along with some of the other devs and stuff, so. And the Reddit and Twitter or whatever too, but. Heck yeah, guys. Well, it's been fun. Our town kind of looks nice too. It's not just like we didn't just slap down a bunch of, you know, it doesn't look like horrible either. It's not like we just like made a bunch of sacrifices aesthetically to get this done either. So we got a nice looking town. We got tier 3. We got plenty of resources. We got plenty of ale. We got plenty of clothing. Look at our fuels catching back up now, so we can probably start selling charcoal again. We've got iron around if we need to make more tools. We got plenty of, you know, building materials, foods. Food's like not a problem at all. When this comes around, I guess I'll leave it open since we're near. I'll leave it open just so we can see what this harvest of September looks like with these pears and apples, and then we'll end the stream after that. How about that, guys? So we're near. August is coming up. We'll get through August and then it'll be September, and what I'll do is I'll assign these guys as corpse pit grave diggers or whatever, and then we can see what kind of yields are they going to get. Furthermore, since we upgraded these plots to level 3, now they have more housing space. So these orchard lots should now have 4 families on them. Like this one has 4 families now. So we can get a better idea of what the yields are going to look like here. We'll go into September and just take a look at that, and then we'll wrap it up. Looks like these ones are a little farther behind on the maturity, right, compared to the others. I can't remember which one I put on which house. I don't remember which one are apples and which ones are pears. Yes, yeah, I definitely want to try that out, Beth. Yeah, like I said, dude, almost all of those military tips that you brought up to me in that comment, I didn't know about any of those other than the one where you double click on the portrait. So I definitely am going to try that out. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad batch. Meat! These getting
Meat. I think we need another corpse pit because we have 2 double level 3s, and then we'll see what our yields are looking like here. I don't really know which one is which. Do you guys remember which one I put in which? Oh, it does show on the tab. You're right. Okay, yeah, apples are here. Oh, okay. Yes. So the apples mature quicker than the pear trees, right? So that's why we're seeing that. Okay. These are so the ones that are further along are the apples. The pears take longer to fully mature. So this will be interesting to see what the yields are looking like now that we have a full level 3 double plots for both of them. Looks like the apples are a little bit farther along in maturity than the pears, so we'll get a quick look at what the yields are looking like here. Then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, absolutely. I forgot about that new tab feature that'll show that. Yeah, it's really convenient. We'll probably just turn on our charcoal trade again. We'll just put a little surplus there. No problem. Get the militia out and show their. I don't have any militia, bro. we didn't do that. We never even built a manor, so we don't have any weapons or anything. We'll definitely do that. We'll do that though next stream. Probably next stream, guys, will probably be on Friday. A bit, I don't know. We'll based on a couple of factors. So factor 1 is, like I mentioned, Farthest Frontier is releasing on Thursday. So once again, I don't have any inside information whatsoever. But my own personal speculation is that they're going to want to compete with this Farthest Frontier release. So I would not be surprised if some random day in the middle of the week, all of a sudden they're like, here's the patch, you know what I mean, for Manor Lords. If that's the case, then I don't know if I'll live stream on Friday because I'll probably be busy working on, actual video stuff. But we'll see. So if there's no like release announcement or whatever in the middle of the week, I'll probably stream on Friday and we can do more, you know, fun stuff or whatever here on the beta. Otherwise, it might just be a little bit more time until the next live stream because I'll probably need a couple days to hammer out some actual video stuff, regular video stuff. But otherwise, yeah, I'm thinking like Fridays and Sundays are kind of going to be the live stream days in general. In like morning times for me.
Step right up and send.
Did I get the shipment? No, I don't have
Perhaps he simply does not know how to cook properly.
I don't think I got. I think I'm on the I just did the peaceful mode or whatever, Bath. So I don't think it has the armament delivery turned on. Or weaponless. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we could make shield. I mean, we would have to make a. You know, we don't have like spears though or anything. But yeah. Okay. We're almost near the end of August. We're gonna check out these yields here, and then we're gonna wrap it up for today, guys. It's been a really good, another really fun stream here. It's great connecting with you guys, and like I said, we'll see what happens here in the middle of the week as far as like what's, you know, are they gonna drop patch or not? I don't know. We'll see. But stay tuned. I'll be posting a couple more videos. I got a couple videos that I'm working on throughout the week here, and then yeah, we'll see what happens before the weekend. Potential live stream on Friday again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab all these guys, just for the sake of, you know, I don't really care what they're working out right now. I would pay more attention to that typically, but right now I don't really care what they're doing. I'm just gonna assign them to Corpse Pit regardless, because we're just really interested in checking out these yields here. So I am taking all residing families of the orchard houses, and we are assigning them as grave diggers. Grave digger, grave digger. All right, cool. So they are all now, all 4 families on each of these are now assigned as grave diggers. So they should only now, see, perfect, here comes the harvest season. Now they're only going to be focused on getting the apples, or the pears, or whatever. We can see them going out and doing their harvesting. Let's also put a couple more people in the granary here too, just to make sure that they are picking up all of the resources as they're getting harvested. And let's keep an eye here and see what happens. Make 5 warbows. I will. I'm gonna sign off after the harvest here. But yes, definitely next video we'll do that for sure. I need to test it out for myself too. But yeah, 100%. I mean, pears are strong. I mean, once again, we can see here, these are the apple trees that are more mature. We can see the pears are not even, they haven't reached another stage of maturity yet. And the pears are looking strong. Look at that, guys. Pears are looking very strong, even despite not even being close to the maturity level of the apples yet. Yeah, if they have, they should. Right, and once again, this is just a personal preference of mine, and maybe it's a bit of an outdated strategy now at this point to use the corpse pits. It is just for me. I just feel like now I'm like, there's no variables involved as far as like, are they possibly doing this other thing or whatever? It's like, nah, they're assigned as a gravedigger. That's it. Like, they are 1000% committed to this job, you know. That being said, once again, that's just more of, I think, maybe a personal preference and potentially outdated strategy at this point. There's probably other better ways to do it, but at least for the sake of just taking stock of these yields here, we know that they're definitely. We got 4 families on each house fully committed to getting all the yields. I want to see level 3 cabbage numbers next stream. Yeah. Yeah, heck yeah, Marcus. No, it sounds good, dude. Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, same here, dude. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your weekend here and a good week ahead. Like I said, more video. I'll have a couple videos coming throughout the week. I'm working on a couple guides here that I want to knock out before the release. And then once the release happens, I definitely have I want to do another I have a couple like challenge runs and playthroughs that I want to do. And then yeah, we'll have, like I said, Fridays and Sundays will probably be, unless there's like a patch just dropped or something, and I'm really kind of need some time to focus on that for regular video production. Then Fridays and Sundays will probably be either one or both weekly for live streams. And we can experiment with different techniques and strategies and exchange information, answer questions, all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, these pears are the amount of pears that we're getting is very strong, considering that those trees have not matured at all. I can only imagine once they get fully mature, it's going to be pretty bonkers. You know what I mean? I know, we're still so loaded with berries, and I didn't even harvest I don't know if you guys remember, but we tore down the forager's hut over here to make space for this tailor shop, and I never even rebuilt the forager's hut. So we haven't even gathered berries for like 2 years. The amount of berries that you get from a rich berry deposit is buku. I know, like, Baff and I, we've exchanged some notes about like what we would think would kind of be the most recommended like resources for like maybe a newer player, or if you're struggling with like food, especially in the beginning and stuff like that. I know he's a fan of the fertility, which is a great suggestion. I do feel like I personally feel like the berries though are just like, it's crazy how you can just slap down a forager hut. I never even had more than one family assigned to the forager hut at a time either. I mean, the amount of berries that you get from a rich deposit is just crazy town, and so little labor investment, and it's so easy to do. That being said, it's not as expansive as, like, yeah, if you get the fertility, maybe a little more ramp up time, more labor investment and all that kind of stuff, but then you get more out of it in the long run, right? You get clothing from the flax, beer from the barley, food from the wheat. So yeah, but the berry, like, if you have a rich berry deposit, it is great. Like, it's unmatched, I think, as far as like, just the most bang, like the most production for least investment. Well, there we go, guys. That was the harvest season. So we can see here we got 180 pears and 107 apples here. So yeah, really strong yields. I'm really surprised. I'm impressed with how good the pears are in particular, considering that they're behind on the maturity process. So that's good to see. So I would definitely say pears are worthwhile, and apples too. Quinces, I don't know. I've noticed the quinces are pretty, like the beetroots and the quinces, both of the lower tier veggies and apples, or veggies and fruits, are kind of, I don't know if they're so much worth it, to be honest. Jury's still out on the cabbages. Carrots were crazy good when we tried them on Friday. But yeah, as we can see here, pears are looking really good. Apples still look good too, but pears look especially good. I would say whatever the cost difference was, I don't remember what the cost difference was when we put in the pears and the apples. Whatever it was, I think it was worth it, right? Like, if I had the option to go back and do just double pears, I'd probably do that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Cool stuff, guys. Yeah, cool stuff. Rich berries or rich fish is good. Yeah, very convenient. But not both for new player. True. Yes. Yes. Yep, very true. Very true. Alright, guys, we're wrapping it up for now. GG's, guys. Thank you all for being here once again. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys had a good time watching and hanging and chatting. And hopefully I was able to help with some questions or some info or strategies or whatever. If you guys have any other questions, definitely feel free to hit me up here on the channel and any of the comments or whatever. And like I said, we'll see what happens this week as far as if we get a release or not. Like I said, that Farthest Frontier is coming out on Thursday, so I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Otherwise, I'll keep you guys updated. I'll have a couple more videos, like I said, that I'm working on throughout the week. So hopefully you guys are able to check those out. And I hope to see you guys in the next video and or next live stream, guys, and just around here on the channel. So yeah, later guys. Yeah, I hope you guys, and once again, hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend here, and a really good week ahead. So cool stuff, guys. We are signing off for now, y'all, and I hope you guys, once again, all my fellow lords out there, thank you so much, guys, and we will catch you guys soon. All the best wishes to all you guys out there. That's right. All right.